A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations make free time available to present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Our program today, The House with the Blue Curtains, was written by Mark Siegel. It is based on the book October 43, written by Ua Bertelsen.
Hello.
Mr. Bertelsen.
Yes, Bertelsen here. Who's this?
Wilson.
The chief of police?
Yes, I must see you immediately.
At 5 o'clock in the morning?
It's urgent, Mr. Bertelsen.
Oh, well, all right. I'll be right there as soon as I get dressed.
No, Mr. Bertelsen, I'll come to your house.
To my house?
Yes, right away. It's on Birding Lane, isn't it?
Yes, 33A. You won't miss it. It's the house with the blue curtains. My name is Ua Bertelsen. In September of 1943, I was a school teacher. A teacher of divinity, to be exact. I lived with my wife Gerda and my 2 children in a house with blue curtains in Lyngby, a suburb of Copenhagen. We lived quietly, or as quietly as one could, in Denmark, Hitler's model protectorate. I didn't like the Nazis, what civilized man could. But I must confess, with shame, that until a foggy morning in September 1943, I didn't understand fully what was happening to my country. It was on that day that Nordsen, Lyngby's chief of police, telephoned me at 5 o'clock in the morning. 15 minutes later, he was at my front door.
Mr. Bertelsen?
Yes, I am Bertelsen.
May we come in?
Of course. We?
I have 2 children with me.
You have your children with you at this hour?
Not my children. Please, Mr. Bertelsen, it would be wiser if we came in immediately.
The chief of police walked into my house out of the fog, followed by 2 children, a boy of 8, a girl of 10. He left them sitting in our entrance hall, then motioned me to our living room. Before sitting down, he closed the curtains, the blue curtains which hang in every window of our house.
Mr. Bertelsen, you must forgive my strange behavior.
I forgive it, but I don't understand it. What do you want of me? Why are you here?
Those 2 children. I want you to hide them for a few days.
Hide them?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Who are they?
The boy's name is Benjamin, the girl's Ruth. They're Jewish.
What's that got to do with it? Frankly, this is the most extraordinary...
Mr. Bertelsen, please listen to me carefully.
Well, of course, but...
Now, we have had word. The Nazis are planning a surprise raid on the Jews.
Here? In Denmark?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not possible. They haven't bothered the Jews here up to now. Why should they begin now?
I don't know why, Mr. Bertelsen. I only know what the orders coming through will be. The orders will be to round up every Jew in Denmark for deportation. Will you hide these 2?
Will I... Mr. Murrison, why did you come to me?
You were my nephew's teacher. I understand you're a good teacher. A good teacher would not want to see children hurt.
No. No, he would not.
Now, you understand this is illegal. If they're
Then,
found...
Morrison, you need talk no further. We'll keep them here, of course.
Good. I knew you would.
You knew? What made you so sure?
How could you not, Bertelsen? Don't you have 2 children of your own?
It was the beginning of the strangest time of my life. A time in which only dishonest men could afford to be legal. For almost a week, Benjamin and Ruth stayed with us. And then for the second time, early in the morning, we had a visitor. My wife, Gerda, answered the door.
Ah, Mr. Moritzen, come right in.
Mrs. Bertelsen, is your husband here?
Yes, I am here, Mr. Moritzen.
Well, it started...
The roundup?
No, perhaps worse.
What do you mean, Moritzen?
Well, in the last few days, several hundred Jews went up to the coast to try to get across to Sweden.
Yes, we had heard about that.
Well, last night the Germans found them up there, hiding in the boat sheds and bathhouses.
And they were taken prisoner?
Many, yes. Those who tried to escape were hunted down and shot.
They shot them? Those defenseless people?
I haven't finished, Mrs. Bertelsen. I've come here to tell you something else. There are prairie schooners all over the neighborhood.
Prairie schooners?
It's what they call German army trucks, Gerda.
Well, where are they here? What does it mean?
Well, it means that the rumor of a raid is almost certainly not a rumor. Now, you'd better do something about the 2 children that you have hiding here. And whatever you're going to do, you better do it fast.
We looked at each other, Gerda and I, and we knew we had a moment of decision upon us. A moment in which a man must face himself when he must make a choice, knowing that he must live with his decision to the end of his days.
The attic. We can put them in the attic.
Yes, of course, Gerda, the attic. I should have thought of that myself. That is how it began, with 2 children and a chief of police who understood that a man, to be a man, must enforce the highest law, the law of compassion and humanity. But I am getting ahead of my story. I kissed Gerda goodbye and bicycled to my school to see our headmaster, Mr. Sigdriksson.
Of course, Bertelsen. I agree with you completely.
I knew you would, Mr. Sigdriksson.
It's barbaric what they're doing, barbaric. Whatever can be done must be done. I wish I could help, too.
But you are helping, sir.
Not as much as I'd want to. Will you go ahead, then? Take as much time as you need, a few days, a week if necessary.
It may be longer than that, sir.
Well, whatever's required, then. But you'd better cover your absence in some way.
I've thought of that. I'm going straight down to the district medical officer to get a certificate of illness.
Ah, it's a good idea. What will you tell him?
Oh, I will tell him there's something with my stomach. It's not so far from the truth. I am sick to my stomach with what's happening.
All right, then, Bertelsen. Go ahead and good luck.
Thank you, sir.
But when you go down there to the district medical office...
Yes, sir.
Better take my son Sig along with you. I'm quite sure he's having trouble with the stomach, too, this morning.
It was the 2nd of October when we met for the first time in our house with the blue curtains. My wife, Gerda, Sig, Mr. Moritzen, half a dozen others. There were a remarkably large number of Danes who developed stomach trouble in the first days of October 1943.
Then it's decided? Then it's decided, yes? This house will be our headquarters.
You're quite sure you want to do this, Mrs. Bertelsen?
Yes, Mr. Moritzen. We have sent Hans and Inga off to the country, to my sisters, so there's nothing to stop us.
Gerda.
Yes, Sig.
What do we do first?
First, I think we'd better get up a list. Just where the Jews of Lengby are, how many there are, and where they're being sheltered.
The police can help with that, Mrs. Bertelsen.
I was counting on your help, Mr. Moritzen. Sig, you can help me with the records here.
Records? Is that wise?
We'll find a way of keeping them so that no one else will be able to read them.
Oh, good. But what use will a list be?
I am not sure yet, Sig, but we'll see. Ua is in Copenhagen now, seeing some friends in the government.
really didn't understand at first. We thought we could get exit permits from the government. Sometimes we knew after Nazi actions against the Jews in other countries, the Germans had let some of the survivors out. In our Danish government offices, there was shock at the sudden turn of events, but our government officials were helpless. Our government was captive to the Nazis. Still, I kept trying, hoping always that someday...
Where to now, mister?
The Ministry of Finance, driver.
Right. That didn't take long, mister. Now where?
The Ministry of Education this time.
Yes, sir. Where do you want to go now, mister? You've been to every government office in Copenhagen.
Don't you think I know that, driver?
Look, mister, it's getting late. Where do you want to go?
Take me out to Lyngby.
To Lyngby? Look, I wouldn't go to Lyngby for 1,000 kroner, not at this hour. You can get yourself another cab.
But you know I can't find another cab. They're very scarce.
Well, that's just too bad now, isn't it?
Driver, I must get to Lyngby.
I'm sorry, mister. It's time for me to turn in.
Listen to me, driver. This is a matter of human lives. Many human lives.
Many?
Many. Perhaps hundreds.
You mean the Jews?
I've said all I can say.
Well, why didn't you say it before? Of course I'll take you to Lyngby. I'll take you anywhere except Berlin.
Kelson, the taxi driver, became a member of our group. So did Larking, the taxi driver, and Professor Ayer, and Dr. Strandweigard, and Professor Prohaska, and, well, I cannot name them all. But within 2 days, there were 60 members of our group operating out of our headquarters, our house with blue curtains. The word traveled fast about the house with the blue curtains, but it was understood that no Jew would come to the house. That danger was too great.
Wow. Can you see who it is?
Yes. It's someone I don't know. It's a policeman. A policeman with a beard.
With a beard, you say?
Yes, Sig.
Then it's David. There's only one policeman in Lyngby with a beard.
But you are sure it's all right to let him in, Sig?
All right. You bet it's all right. David's a one-man rescue operation.
It was David, I learned, who had brought Ruth and Benjamin to the chief of police to be hidden. David, who, day and night, completely disregarding danger to himself, had walked the streets of Lyngby, moving Jewish families from hiding place to hiding place. And it was David who helped us make our most important plans in the house with the blue curtains. We called each other by our first names from the very beginning.
Oh, I understand you've been in Copenhagen all day.
Yes, that's right, David. How did you know?
It doesn't matter, I know. You haven't been able to get any exit permits, have you?
No. Everyone wants to help, but...
Well, it was worth a try. But I could have told you before you started it was hopeless.
You could have told me. How would you know?
How would I know? You haven't had much to do with the Nazis up to now, have you?
No. That is, not directly.
Well, neither have I directly. But when you feel for others, when your brothers are being hunted and persecuted and slaughtered, then it's almost the same. Almost the same as if they were hunting you.
I'm beginning to learn that.
I've been learning it for 7 years, Ua. I'm Jewish. It's time to plan some other way. We're not going to get exit permits for the Jews of Denmark.
Our plan for rescuing the Jews of Denmark, both those who were citizens and those who had sought refuge within our frontiers, was based on the geography of our country. The coastline of Zeeland is long and difficult to patrol, and the Sound, which lies between Zeeland and Sweden, though deep and with strong currents, is narrow. At one point, it is only 3 miles between the Danish and Swedish coasts. All of this we took into account as we made our plans in the house with the blue curtains.
There must be private boats up there. If we could find out who owns them. What do you think, Sig?
Gerda, the Nazis have confiscated every private boat up there.
But the fishing boats go out, I'm sure of that.
But that will take money, or a good deal of money.
We'll get it, David. We spread the word about, we'll get it.
And the captains of the fishing boats, will they take the chance? Most of them probably have never even seen a Jew.
David, you were right before when you said, I haven't had much to do with the Nazis. I don't know Nazis, but I do know Danes.
And you think they'll help?
We have an old saying in Denmark, David. It's a simple Danish declaration of human rights.
What saying?
It's this. A man is a man, even if he is not bigger than a mouse. You'll see. The fishermen will help. We sent Sig up to Himmelbeck on the coast to make what arrangements he could. In our house with the blue curtains, meanwhile, Gerda and the others carried forward a somewhat unusual business.
Hello? Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bertelsen. I understand you have some rare books in your house.
On the telephone, because we feared wiretapping. Jews were books.
Can you tell me how many you'll be willing to part with?
There was something appropriate about it. In a way, each Jewish man or woman or child was a book. A living repository of the greatest book of them all.
Then we'll plan to pick up 5 large books, 3 medium-sized books, and 20 small books tonight at 8. Is that clear?
It was very clear. In the first days of October 1943, we managed to ship scores of books to the coast of Zeeland. The money for the job came almost without our asking for it.
20,000 kroner for Mr. Fogg.
Oh, thanks, Nordson. But I asked him for only 10,000.
Yes, he says he knows you by now. He says it's more convenient to give you 20,000 at once.
He's right.
Also, 7,000 kroner for Mr. Henrique, and 20,000 for Mr. Rerdam, and 6,000 for Mr. Buell. It's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
What's remarkable, Nordson?
The sudden interest, the sudden literary interest of the Danish people in rare books.
It took less than 2 days to complete our arrangements for our first transport. And on a dark night in October 43, Kelson, our driver, settled himself next to me in the cab of a truck, and we began our rounds.
This way. Bring them this way. Quickly.
From one part of Lyngby to another we went, picking up Jews who had been sheltered by our friends and neighbors.
Are they all injured?
Yes, all for tonight.
Good. Then I'll lock up. Friends, can you hear me? I'm going to close the back of the truck now. Please forgive me. I don't like to lock you up this way. But if we don't lock you up, we can't get you to some place where you'll be free.
We took them northward, our precious truckload, by back roads, past Nazi sentries, northward toward the coast of Zeeland and freedom. At Hummelbeck, in the darkness, we found our way to a farmhouse which Sig had secured for us.
Ooh-ah.
Yes, here, Sig. Where do we put them?
In the hayloft. This way. Follow me.
It was the first time. There would be other times, many of them, but this was the first time. They settled down in the hayloft, our precious charges, and I lay down, too, to wait for word that a fishing boat had been found that was ready to make the run to Sweden. I looked around me at my fellow human beings, the aged, the women, the babies. My thoughts went beyond them to their oppressors. David was lying next to me, and he turned to me, reading the emotion in my eyes.
Don't hate them.
Is my face that transparent, David?
Oh, I know the look, Ur. I've seen it before.
How can I not hate them, David? Not only did they persecute you, all of these helpless human beings, but...
But what, Ur?
But they forced me and Gerda and the rest of us who were not persecuted into the degradation of smuggling Danish fellow citizens out of our own country as if they were criminals. They make us treat people as if they were cattle or sacks of produce.
You could never treat people as if they were cattle. I know you only a few days, but that much I know. There's too much love in you to do that.
There isn't much love in me at the moment, David.
You're a teacher of divinity, aren't you?
I was, David, until a few days ago.
Then you know it is better to love than to hate?
I know it. But just now, I don't feel it.
Every man doubts, every man struggles. But a man who has faith does not yield to hate.
I know that, David. I know it, but...
But you wonder why. Why God let this happen?
Yes, I wonder. Like Job, I wonder.
Will a teacher of divinity let me tell him something?
Of course, David.
I will tell you what I have been taught since I was a little boy. You must think of God's almighty power. Compared to him who a human being is but dust and ashes. High above all rulers he exists. He alone rules. He alone controls the stars, the world, the atoms, everything. In his sphere, suffering is not suffering. Misfortune is not misfortune. It is part of the divine process of creation. And his noblest gem, is the man who stamps his picture with this work. Do not hate, Accept. Yet as you accept, battle against this misery and persecution. For that is part of our duty to God.
The words were in my ears that night, all that night. I thought of them the next day while we waited still for a boat that would take our fellow Danes across to Sweden. And I was thinking of them still on the second night as we watched David jump from the wharf to the fishing boats which had agreed to take our rare books to Sweden.
All on board, Ur?
Yes, all on board.
David.
Yes, Sig?
Tell the captain to cast off.
Right, I'll do that now. For all of us, I thank you.
Please, David, no thanks now. I will not forget what you have taught me.
What is that? What is that?
The Germans. Captain, cast off!
Gerda, say quickly, this way. There's a place on the beach where we can hide. We found a place behind a dune and waited. The Nazi soldiers came, but did not find us. And within an hour, all was quiet once again. Only a soft wind blew from the Swedish coast, carrying a distant sound of the humming of a fishing boat's engines. Gerda, my wife, turned her face toward me, and her eyes were as radiant as the night.
It is so strange.
That we should be hiding here in the sand, Gerda? Yes, very strange.
No, I don't mean that. That I should feel so grateful. In my head I have been saying thank you. Just thank you over and over.
Yes, I know. I've been saying it too. It is as if we never realized before what it means to live.
What's that, What is that? Do you hear it?
Yes. They're singing. They're singing on the boat, Gerda. They've crossed into Swedish waters.
Do you know what it means?
Yes, I do. David told me. It means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. And it is so, Gerda. He is one. It is 13 years now since we worked in the house with the blue curtains. The house itself no longer stands. But we who remember October 1943 are proud that we, with other Danes, had a part in saving almost all of Denmark's 7,000 Jewish citizens. But it is not only that I think of when I think of October 1943. It is of David that I think and what I learned from him. It is better to love than to hate. To love God is to love his children, all his children. And this is true not only in Denmark, my country, but in every land on the face of the earth. If we but see it, each one of us, all our lives, lives in a house with blue curtains. A house from which can pour forth compassion and brotherhood and concern for all our fellow men.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take pleasure in presenting Mr. Herman Levin, member of the Cabinet of the National Planning Committee of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Mr. Levin.
If we but see it, each one of us, all our lives, lives in a house with blue curtains, a house from which can pour forth compassion and brotherhood and concern for our fellow men. If from these final lines of our script today, we realize that there is within each of us a divine power, then why do we keep this power dormant? Must we wait for a Nazi Holocaust to evoke compassion and brotherly concern? Why can't we, under all circumstances, in peace as well as in war, why can't we at all times, in daily living as well as in crisis, serve each other with this love and understanding? Aga Bertelsen and his fellow Danes worked together under a crisis. Aga Bertelsen and men like him continue in times of peace to help to eliminate man's persistent enemies, poverty, disease, ignorance, bigotry, forces more devastating and more destructive than any war. We must harness in peacetime our wartime spirit, energy, and resourcefulness if we are to create a world brotherhood of man. This is a challenge to all men. Let us devote more of our time to succor the sick. Let us help uplift the downtrodden. Let us aid and enlighten the uneducated. Let us unite to remove the blemish of bigotry. We must learn to love rather than to hate. We must be concerned rather than unconcerned. We must try to the best of our abilities to be a house with blue curtains, a center of love and brotherhood for all men at all times, in every street, in every town, in USA.
Thank you, Mr. Levin. Our Eternal Light drama today, The House with the Blue Curtains, by Mark Siegel, was based on the book entitled October 1943, written by Ua Bertelsen. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Virginia Payne, Carl Swenson, Santos Ortega, Robert Hastings, Joe Helgeson, and Sam Gray. Ua was played by John Larkin. This is Bill Hanrahan speaking. This has been an NBC Radio Network production directed by Daniel Sutter. The program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Our drama today, The Ordination, was written by Mark Siegel. It is based on an episode from the novel Festival at Meron by Harry Sackler and is presented in commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the New York Board of Rabbis.
I am called Simeon, Rabbi Simeon, and my voice comes to you across a distance of 1,800 years. Yet I ask a question. How far is your time from mine? Do not men still seek to give a meaning to their lives? Do they not suffer in your time as in mine for the truths in which they believe? In the year 138, I and 4 others were the only scholars left in all Judea. We met secretly, illegally, that we might learn and pass on the eternal truths of our holy Torah. In the spring of that year, our teacher, Rabbi Judah ben Baba, was summoned to the palace of Tinius Rufus, the Roman governor of Judea.
Call him in, Captain.
It is done, Tinius Rufus. Judah ben Baba!
Captain, you are certain this is the man?
Certain, Your Excellency.
What surprises you, Tinius Rufus? That I am old and bent?
It is unimportant. Do you know why I've called you here?
When the governor of Judea summons, it profits little to speculate on his reasons. One comes.
A good reply. Let us see if you can answer other questions as well.
I am listening, Tinius Rufus.
You are familiar with the imperial edict? The edict of the Emperor Hadrian?
Who is not?
What does the edict forbid, Rabbi?
Why do you force me to recite the prohibitions against the practice of my religion? What purpose does it serve?
A rebellious people must be taught respect for law. It is a little lesson in overcoming stubbornness.
I do not need your lesson, Tinius Rufus. I believe in law. I believe also in the freedom of the human spirit.
Enough, Rabbi. Name the prohibitions.
If you insist. The covenant of Abraham is forbidden. It is forbidden to circumcise our sons.
Correct. Continue.
Observance of the Sabbath is forbidden, also of our festivals.
And?
The study of our holy Torah is forbidden. To teach or to learn is forbidden.
You have listed the provisions like a scholar, Judah ben Baba. Too much like a scholar.
One does not put aside the habits of a lifetime easily, Tinius Rufus.
Precisely. And the edict is therefore provided to help you in the process, to help you become a loyal citizen of Rome.
Loyalty comes from inside men, not from outside, Governor.
Death comes from the outside, Rabbi. The penalty for violation of the edict is death.
And is it to tell me this that you have summoned me?
This and a little more, Rabbi. Where are the others?
What others?
You know full well the followers of Rabbi Akiba. Where are they?
Throughout the land, Tinius Rufus. My whole people follow the teachings of our blessed Akiba ben Joseph. May he rest in peace.
Let us not play with words, Rabbi. Where are his disciples, his students?
Why are you so afraid of students, Tinius Rufus? Do a few students threaten the power of mighty Rome?
That is for me to judge. Where are the students?
Under God's protection, Tenius Rufus.
Rabbi Judah, if you wish to escape the fate of Akiba, listen well. By sundown tomorrow, you will produce the remaining scholars of the underground academy.
Tenius Rufus, do you really think I will give them up to you? Do you expect me to fear you more than I fear my God?
That night, under cover of darkness, we fled from Caesarea to Usha. A pious potter, Enoch, gave us refuge. And in the cellar of his house, we continued our study of the written and the oral law. Month after month, the spies of Tinius Rufus combed the land, searching for us. Yet they did not find us. Still, in his own way, Tinius Rufus communicated with our underground academy.
A proclamation! By order of the Emperor Hadrian and Tinius Rufus, governor of Judea, henceforth all Jews found harboring rabbis or scholars shall be put to death. All Jews apprehended in the act of feeding or providing food for rabbis or scholars shall be put to death. The ordination of rabbis is strictly forbidden. The penalty shall be not only death for those who participate, but the destruction of the entire city in which the ordination is performed.
My sons, we have reached the end of the lesson. Are there any questions? Eliezer?
I have no questions, Master.
Mayor?
No, Rabbi Judah. It is plain to understand.
So be it. Go in peace.
Until tomorrow at the same time, Rabbi.
No, Simeon.
No. Do we not meet to study tomorrow?
My sons, I have waited to the end of the lesson to tell you this, for I refuse to waste the precious time of study.
Tell us what, Rabbi?
That this shall be our last lesson together, Eliezer.
But why? What has happened, Rabbi?
Enoch believes we are being observed by the spies of Tinius Rufus.
Can we not find another place of study? There are others who will aid us, Rabbi.
Simeon, Eliezer, all of you, I bid you listen to me. This shall be our last lesson. But it is not only because of the word that Enoch brings.
There is another reason, Rabbi?
Yes, Mayor. I have been guilty of the sin of procrastination.
You, Rabbi Judah, guilty? You are stainless above all men.
No, Mayor. Do you not remember? The Lord seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. How long is it you have studied the law in hiding?
3 years, Master.
3 years. First with Akiba ben Joseph of blessed memory, and then with me. I am satisfied that you are fully prepared to be teachers and judges in Israel. Why have I not ordained you?
Is it not because the penalty is so great, Master?
No, Eliezer. That obstacle, with God's help, we will overcome. I think I have delayed for a smaller reason.
I do not understand.
Perhaps, my sons, I was selfish in not wanting to part from you. But that is over now. We must concern ourselves with your ordination.
Rabbi, if we are to be ordained, would it not be best to ordain us now?
There is still the penalty to consider, Simeon. Have we the right to jeopardize all Usha because of our own ardor?
Well, is there not some small hamlet, some place of only 1 or 2 souls willing to endure the risk?
Eliezer, is the destruction of one innocent soul less than the destruction of a city?
Then there is no answer, Master.
With the help of God, we will find a way, Eliezer. And now, my sons, go to your lodgings. Enoch the potter will bring you word.
Rabbi, before I go, may I ask a question?
Of course, Simeon.
Of what use is our ordination, Master, if we are forbidden to teach and to judge?
Simeon, I would answer you with a parable. If a farmer shivering in the winter cold stands in a frozen field full of dry brown trees, all stumps and twigs and branches, looking all alike and lifeless, shall he doubt that 6 months hence the bare field will be a blooming orchard?
It was agreed that Enoch, the potter, should scour the countryside for a safe place for the ordination. While we waited, each in our own lodgings in Usha, Enoch made discreet inquiries.
Jugs, vessels, pots, big and small, wine bottles, pitchers.
Potter, let me see your wares.
Gladly, farmer. But first, tell me where I am. Do the tax collectors come to you from Usha or Shephardim?
From Usha, Potter.
Ah? You are near the boundary line, then.
A league, more or less, Potter. Do you see the hills which rise beyond the second field?
I do.
They mark the outer boundary of Usha.
I thank you, farmer. And now to our business. I think you'll find my price low. Hey, boy, how far to Shephardim?
A good way, Potter. Can you take me?
Yes, I have a place for you, lad.
Thank you, Potter. May I put my firewood in the cart?
Well, take care you do not harm my water jars.
I'll be careful. There.
Are we already in Shephardim, lad?
No, Potter. Shephardim begins on the other side of this ravine.
How can that be? The farmer told me the boundary was back at those hills, the hills behind us.
That's the boundary of Usha.
But if we are not in Usha, we must be in Shephardim.
No, Potter. We are in either.
Not in one or the other? Did I hear you right?
These are public lands, Potter. No one lives here. This land belongs to no one. Potter! Potter, why do you go so fast? You will smash your jugs to smithereens.
You are certain, Enoch? The land belongs to no one.
To no one, Simeon. Here, I'll show you on this parchment. Here, Usha ends. And here, Shephardim begins.
And what lies between?
A great ravine, Simeon. I went back and explored it. It is strewn with boulders and covered with trees.
Is there a place for concealment?
There is a clearing beneath a ledge, hidden from the road above. It is as if the Lord's hand created the spot for this special purpose.
It is surely his hand which guided you to it, Enoch. Go now. Instruct the others how to get there.
Yes, Simeon.
Each shall go separately, on foot. Let each scholar take a different path, starting at a different time.
I shall tell them.
Above all, instruct them to take pains lest they be observed or followed.
Before the sun has set, all will be instructed.
We can go on foot, Enoch. But the master, how will he get there?
Rabbi Judah will ride there on my donkey, Simeon. I will awaken him before dawn and lead the way.
Enoch, my son, could not one of the scholars have walked with me? Was there need for you to take this risk?
Rabbi Judah, it is you who taught me that he who begins a good deed is bidden to complete it.
You have done many good deeds, Enoch.
Rabbi, you speak as if in farewell.
Forgive me, Potter. It is a strange thing to be riding to an ordination in secrecy.
Yes, Rabbi.
I remember other ordinations, Enoch. They were joyful and gay. Scholars dressed in white. The people came from miles around to join in the rejoicing.
I remember, Rabbi.
When the crown of learning was bestowed on those who had attained it, the people would shout and sing. Tell me, Enoch, for the sake of an old man's dreams, will you sing?
Mayor and Yossi, Eliezer, Yehuda, and I, waiting for Rabbi Judah. The sun was rising as Enoch helped the master down the steep slope of the ravine.
This way, Rabbi Judah. Here they are.
Are all the scholars here, Simeon?
All 5 of us, master.
Then let us begin.
Before you start, Rabbi.
Yes, Enoch.
Let me show you something. Here, behind this underbrush, a passageway. It leads to the next hollow where there are caves. If the ordination should be interrupted.
Do you think that will happen, Enoch?
No, Rabbi, I think we have been undetected, but in case...
Yes, Enoch, we understand.
I will stand guard above, near the road. If anyone approaches, I shall call. But if there is danger, I shall make the sound of the nightingale, like this.
May you have no need to, Enoch.
I hope not, Simeon. But if you hear the bird call, take to the caves at once.
So be it, Enoch. Beloved sons, I ask you to stand close that I may begin the ceremony. I'm about to confer upon you the authority which you have long since earned. Now, need I tell you that the beginning of all wisdom is the fear of God? You know it. But need I caution you not to make your learning a spade to dig with? You know that, too. Therefore, let us proceed with the ordination itself.
We are ready, Rabbi.
May the spark that I strike now in the isolation of this ravine become a pillar of fire that will lead Israel from the gloom of these distressing times to the glory of a brighter day.
Amen.
May my son come forward. I place my hands upon your head to signify that henceforth you may teach and you may judge. Simeon, come forward. Henceforth you may teach and you may judge.
Do you hear it, Eliezer? Yes, Mayor.
Yehuda ben Eli, by this token henceforth you may teach and you may judge.
Rabbi Judah.
Yes, Enoch.
Please stop for just a moment. It is safe now, Rabbi. They are gone. Proceed, but please lower your voice.
Eliezer, I place my hands upon your head, signifying that henceforth you may teach and you may judge.
Thank you, Master.
Master, that is Enoch.
Yosef, come quickly. Bow your head. Henceforth you may teach and you may judge. Praise God. It is done.
Rabbis, quickly conceal yourselves.
Who is it, Enoch? Spies?
Worse, Simeon, soldiers at the turn of the road.
Come, Rabbi Judah. Let me help you crawl through the passageway.
No, Simeon. The others first.
Eleazar, Yehuda, you're safe. Into the passageway speedily. Where are you going, Simeon? Meyer, help me. We will carry the master in our arms.
No, Simeon. I am too old to be carried in arms.
Hurry, they're coming. Master, I beg of you, please.
Someone must stay the Roman, Simeon, so that the others may escape.
But let it be I, Rabbi.
All right. No, Mayor. Go now, both of you. I wish it so.
But, Rabbi, we shall be scorned by all the generations to come. They will say they left their master to the mercy of the Romans.
I am not thinking of you now, Maya. If you persist, you will destroy what I have built.
But, Rabbi, you are so old.
With the ancient is wisdom, Simeon. I have less of life to yield.
We cannot do without you, Rabbi. You are a sage in Israel.
Shall my learning be the reason for cowardice, Simeon?
Master, I entreat you, is not the commandment that thou shalt choose life?
Simeon, my son, you must complete the quotation. The commandment is that thou shalt choose life so that you may live, you and your seed. If I yield my life, it is that the seed of our people may live, that they may be saved from destruction.
No more time for talking, Rabbi. Into the passageway.
Simeon, Mayor, I command you to go.
May the Lord protect you, Master.
Fear not, Simeon. He is my shield and my protection.
Farewell, Master.
Farewell, my sons. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and make his countenance to shine upon you.
Rabbi Judah, there is a commandment. Let me help you.
No, Enoch. I know what I must do.
Then I will stay with you.
No, Enoch. They need you. Guard them and keep them, for in all Judea they are the only repositories of our holy Torah. Now go.
At least be still, Rabbi Judah. You may pass undetected.
It will be as God wills it, Enoch. Goodbye, my son.
Rufus. I don't see them anywhere.
Captain, I have not journeyed from Caesarea post-haste for nothing. My informant said they would be here in this ravine. There. I hear the braying of a donkey.
You need search no further, Tinius Rufus. I am here.
My dear Rabbi Judah, I am delighted to see you. Where are your students? I should enjoy seeing them, too.
They are no longer students, Tinius Rufus. They are rabbis in Israel. And you shall not find them.
Rabbi, I regret their escape. I planned to spare you for your age. Why have you forced this unpleasant duty on me?
Each one has a duty, Tinius Rufus. Mine is to my God and to my people.
I must confess I understand neither.
I forgive your lack of understanding.
You forgive me. It is the conqueror who forgives, not the vanquished.
Nonetheless, I forgive you.
Old man, do you not understand? You are about to die.
I know it well.
And you are not afraid?
Yes. I am afraid, Tinius Rufus. But life itself is not the greatest triumph. And death need not be the greatest indignity.
And these are your only words before you perish.
You may put me to death, Tinius Rufus. But that which gives meaning to my life is beyond your reach. It shall live, and it shall grow. The time will come when the bridges and aqueducts of Rome will molder in the dust. They shall be as nothing. But out of Zion shall still go forth the Torah and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Dr. Israel Goldstein, chairman of the New York Board of Rabbis' 75th Anniversary Jubilee. Dr. Goldstein.
Judaism has had to face two kinds of tests in the course of its checkered history. One was the kind of test described in the dramatic episode you have just heard, religious persecution. And it has withstood that test heroically. The other kind of test is the exact opposite, the ability of Judaism to retain its identity in the face of freedom, tolerance, and the forces of assimilation. It is this second test which faces Judaism in America. The New York Board of Rabbis, now observing its 75th anniversary jubilee, has witnessed and has participated in the growth and development of Judaism in this, the largest Jewish community in the world. It has watched over the religious interests of this community, religious education, Sabbath observance, pastoral ministry, and chaplaincy service. It has tried to safeguard the American principle of separation between church and state, resisting every attempt to force religion into the public schools. And it has cooperated with the religious leaders of other denominations in the common endeavor for improving the civic and religious tone of our community as a whole. Numbering today 700 rabbis, Orthodox, Conservative, and Reform, the New York Board of Rabbis has been, from the beginning 75 years ago, a force for unity across the differences in Jewish religious life. It has been the first, and today is the largest group of its kind in any city in the world. Size alone, however, is no criterion of value in the Jewish tradition. The New York Board of Rabbis has distinguished itself by the quality of its service to our community. God grant that it may serve American Judaism in the future as it has done in the past, dedicating its efforts to the end that the faith of the fathers remain the faith of the children under the sunny skies of American freedom.
Thank you, Dr. Goldstein. Our Eternal Light drama today, The Ordination, was written by Mark Siegel. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Presented in the cast were Santos Ortega, Carl Weber, Guy Sorrell, Alan Bergman, Arthur Seelan, Roger DeKoven, Guy Repp, Kermit Murdoch, and Peter Laser. This is Mel Brandt. The production was under the direction of Daniel Sutter. This has been an NBC Radio Network production. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. and it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light.
The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program comes to you transcribed from Boston, Massachusetts. It is entitled Be Franklin American, written by Joseph Mindell and starring the distinguished actor Ralph Bellamy as Benjamin Franklin.
Picture me, if you will, an old man with a round face and eyes that peer over the tops of spectacles, rummaging through the years of my life, indulging in autobiography, a vanity common to the elderly. It may be that I will ramble a bit. I am not as methodical as I used to be. You will not mind that, I hope, for one does not dress for private company as for a public ball. And I speak to you privately, as to friends. I speak not as others have spoken of me, not of Benjamin Franklin, statesman, diplomat, scientist, philosopher, inventor, author. No. Let me speak of B. Franklin, American. Here I am, then, returned, alas, in spirit only, to Boston. My friends in Philadelphia will understand, and the good people of Boston will, I hope, welcome me back to the city of my birth. The house on Milk Street where I was born, surely it is gone. But the street itself, does it still remain? I have thought of them often, and of the shop where as a boy I learned the printer's trade, apprenticed to my brother James.
Bring the form, Benjamin. Hurry, lad. He takes his time about it. Oh, do you not know enough to lock a form? Type is scattered all over the floor. 2 hours of work gone for naught. You good for nothing?
My brother James was not the kindest master, but I learned to set type. Yes, to lock a form, to run the press. What I wanted most, to write for his newspaper, the New England Courant, that I had to do in secret, slipping my little essays under the door at night to be found in the morning and read by James and his friends.
Another contribution from our unknown correspondent.
From Silence Dogood?
Aye, he writes with an edged pen. And listen.
He? Silence Dogood claims to be a poor widow.
Nonsense. These words are not a woman's wit.
Yes, but the name has a female ring, if you know what I mean.
Names. Look at the letter to the editor in the last issue. Where is it? Here. From Abigail Afterwit. From Timothy Turnstone. Tom Penshallow. Tabitha Talkative. Ichabod Henroot. What are you laughing at? I see nothing humorous.
Don't you, James? No, of course not.
They copy the style of England. Never mind his name. Listen to what he writes, this Silence Dogood. And Benjamin, don't stand there like a carved pew bench. Get to work.
Let the boy listen. Perhaps he will learn something.
Oh, he already has an opinion on every subject.
James, Silence Dogood?
Yes. Well, this is what he writes. Without freedom of thought, there can be no such thing as wisdom, and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech, which is the right of every man, as far as by it he does not hurt or control the right of another.
Here.
Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech.
Well written, and well thought out.
Benjamin. Hey, Heat, lad, I'm calling you. Did you ever see a more fatuous smirk on a boy's face? Here, Benjamin, here, set this in type just as it is.
You're not going to print this.
Why not? It's what I believe.
The council will not be pleased. Cotton Mather.
You should know that I do not publish my newspaper to please the council or Cotton Mather.
But they have already given you warning. This article will inflame them further against you.
I am a printer, my friend. I print what I believe, so long as, how does Silence Dogood say it? As long as by it I do not hurt or control the right of another. And as for this article, if a pretext is needed, sooner or later the council will find one.
James, the bailiff is coming.
Calm yourself, my friend. Catch your breath.
I ran ahead to warn you.
I've been expecting a summons from the council.
James, there's talk that they will confine you.
Not for long, I think. A week, perhaps, is a lesson.
And that they will forbid you to publish your newspaper.
Then we'll use the scheme we have contrived. Give me that pen. I'll sign the document now before the bailiff comes.
He's only 17, James. Is it wise, do you think, to make Benjamin the publisher of the Courant?
Oh, for a short time, only while I'm away. The bailiff. Benjamin, quickly, lad. Take the document and show it if you must. And Benjamin, remember, you are now the publisher of the New England Courant.
Have you seen the Courant? The new publisher, it seems, does not like the prevalent use of honorary titles.
Oh, what does he know of the world, a boy of 17? Well, read it. Read it aloud.
I thought you weren't interested.
Who said I was? It's only that I...
Never mind. I'll read it. In old times, he writes, it was no disrespect for men and women to be called by their own names. Adam was never called Master Adam. Master Adam.
Well, go on.
We never read of Noah, Esquire, nor the Right Honorable Abraham, Viscount of Mesopotamia, Baron of Canaan, nor do we see...
I'll tell you something about this Benjamin Franklin of yours. If he continues in this way, he's very likely to go to jail.
You're wrong, my dear sir. If he continues in this way, he is likely to go very far indeed.
I remember how my father used to gather his family around him. He had 17 children, and I remember as many as 13 sitting at the table while he read to us from the Bible.
It hath been told thee, O man, what is good, and what the Lord doth require of thee, only to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God.
I have never forgotten the words of the Hebrew prophet Micah. Thus it is that how far and how high have never seemed to me to be as important as how the journey is made. And thus it is also that I have endeavored to weigh others as myself in Micah's scale. And I have not been impressed by titles of honor, nor prejudiced by man's faith, or race, or the color of his skin.
We'll kill them all.
Every murdering redskin!
In the year 1763, long after I had left Boston and was settled in Philadelphia, in that year some Indian tribes of the Six Nations fell upon the western forts and massacred the soldiers.
And the women and children.
Angry mobs gathered near Philadelphia, threatening the Conestoga Indians who had long lived among us in friendship.
Prime your guns, boys. There are vermin to exterminate.
There may be some here who know me.
Aye, we know you, Ben Franklin. Now stand aside.
No, you do not know me if you think I'm so easily stopped from talking.
There's nothing to talk about, Mr. Franklin. You're giving shelter to the Conestogas in Philadelphia.
The Conestogas have done no injury to you, nor to your family or friends.
Mr. Franklin, my brother was in Fort Pitt, whose garrison was massacred.
Not by the Conestogas.
Indians are Indians. What difference does it make?
The difference between justice and murder. Between civilized people and barbarians.
Take care, Mr. Franklin. Don't push us too far.
What is the crime of these poor Conestogas? That they have a reddish-brown skin and crooked noses?
Maybe that's a good enough reason.
Is it? You, my friend with the red hair.
Who, me?
Your hair is red and your face is covered with freckles.
There's no call to make personal remarks.
If a man with red hair and a freckled face should injure me or mine, would it be right for me to revenge it by killing every freckled, red-haired man, woman, and child that I could find? You do not answer, my friend.
Mr. Franklin, we mean to have those Indians.
You will not take them.
You threaten us with your soldiers?
No, with the kind of world you will make for yourselves and your children by such an act.
mob was dispersed and an evil deed was averted. But the matter was not ended, for while I condemned the Western Indians for the massacre, I advocated equally that the murder of innocent Indians be punished. I think I made as many enemies as friends that day.
There will never be any prospect of ease and happiness while that villain Franklin has the liberty of spreading about the poison of that inveterate malice and ill nature which is deeply implanted in his own black heart.
Ah, well, it is not always possible to do justly and to love mercy and be liked by everyone. I will not ask you to judge the blackness of my heart, nor of my enemies. Rather will I remind you that if man can on occasion match the devil, it is also true that they were made but little lower than the angels. We must take them as they are, fluttering all their lives between the depths and the heights. Is it not then the part of wisdom to so arrange the world in which men live that they will soar higher rather than descend? This, it has always seemed to me, is the task of the philosopher.
My dear Mr. Franklin, you are no philosopher.
No?
You see, Mr. Franklin, I've read your pamphlet, Proposals Relating to the Education of Youth in Pennsylvania.
Surely the education of youth is a fit subject for philosophy.
Oh, most certainly. But some time ago you wrote, what did you call it? Plain Truth. And before that, a proposal for promoting useful knowledge. And earlier there was...
Try my modesty, sir.
That was not my intention. I was about to point out a strange circumstance connected with your writing.
Now you arouse my curiosity.
I have noticed that each of your statements somehow results in the establishment of some institution that no one has thought of before. A public library, a company to fight fires, a learned society, a voluntary militia.
You will agree, I hope, that these are good things?
Of course they are.
And you also agree that Pennsylvania should have an academy, a college, as I demonstrate in the pamphlet you have in your hand?
Perhaps I do. But, Mr. Franklin, you did not come to me to discuss the philosophy of education. You came to ask for money.
Ah, a philosopher should never ask for money.
Let me explain. You don't mind my talking in this manner?
My dear sir, in my time I have been called many names. One more or less will matter little.
Well, then, philosophy, you see, is a discipline that requires a certain objectivity. A detachment, one might say, from the hurly-burly of daily life.
I may be wrong, but it seems to me to be quite the contrary.
You are wrong, Mr. Franklin.
And yet, if a philosopher tries to discover what is right and good, should he not also endeavor to bring them out?
No, absolutely not. That is not his domain.
It must be a great comfort.
I don't know what you mean, sir.
To be infallible.
But,
I once knew a certain lady who, in a quarrel with her sister, said, "I don't know how it happens, sister, but I meet with nobody but myself that's always in the right."
Mr. Franklin, I'm sure that Pennsylvania will have its college. How much money do you want from me?
I leave that to your conscience and your pocketbook. I ask only one thing.
Yes?
Pay your contribution in yearly quotas for 5 years.
That's a strange request.
Not at all. When you divide the whole into 5 parts, each part will be so small as to be painless.
So that I will give more in 5 years than I would in 1. Mr. Franklin, I salute you.
I am happy, my dear sir, that you see the advantages of philosophy. The most exquisite folly is made of wisdom spun too fine and withdrawn too far from the hurly-burly of life. I would like all men to be free, to do justly and love truth and mercy. But, alas, they will not do so by my urging them. Thus it is that I have devoted myself to furthering schools and hospitals and a more abundant way of living. For if men are sick and hungry and ignorant, how can they comprehend freedom? You will understand my reluctance to deal with abstractions. And perhaps you will also understand that while the Continental Congress appointed me to the committee for preparing a Declaration of Independence, the writing of it was given to young Jefferson.
I cannot help feeling, Dr. Franklin, that you should have written the Declaration.
No, Mr. Jefferson. This must be a noble and lofty statement of our beliefs, must it not? A solemn document.
Yes, but
there are some people who say that I could not resist putting in a joke here or there. I'll tell you something, Mr. Jefferson. I think maybe they're right.
Dr. Franklin, you have read the first draft of the Declaration.
I have, and it has my complete approval. If I may make a small suggestion.
Of course, Dr. Franklin.
You have written, we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. I would have it, we hold these truths to be self-evident. For Mr. Jefferson, the equal right of all people to life and liberty is an obligation that every man must recognize he owes to his brother. On the day the Declaration of Independence was adopted by Congress, I was appointed to another committee with John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, a committee to devise a seal for the United States of America.
Well, then, so far we agree. On the face of the seal will be the motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
As to the reverse side, I've sketched a suggestion, if you don't mind moving closer to the table. Now, it shows Pharaoh in a chariot, sword in hand, pursuing the Israelites through the divided waters of the Red Sea. Is my drawing clear enough?
Perfectly, Dr. Franklin.
Good. On the other shore, in the rays of the divine presence, stands Moses, arm uplifted over the sea, as the waters are about to engulf Pharaoh. Well, gentlemen?
It's a very elaborate design.
The symbolism seems to me to be very appropriate.
Perhaps a little too biblical.
Consider, Mr. Jefferson, are we not like the children of Israel threatened by a tyrant, by King George?
Yes.
Are we not like the children of Israel few and weak against the many and the strong?
I will not deny it.
And do we not also have confidence in divine assistance for a just cause?
I'm convinced, Dr. Franklin. I will vote for your design.
I am pleased. This is not a very important matter, and one design may turn out to be as good as another. Yet, even in small things, I have the need to express what I believe. Therefore, Mr. Jefferson, I propose a motto. Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. In the Great Seal of the United States, the spirit of the committee's report was adopted, but of our specific recommendations, nothing remained except the motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. And in 1776, the motto of our original suggestion was yet to be transformed into reality. There was much to be done. There was a revolution to make. I was 70 years old, and old men do not make revolutions. Congress sent me to France as a special minister to do what I could do, raise money, gain allies, make friends.
It is the carriage of the American Franklin. A personage of distinguished appearance. Vive l'Américain!
Wherever I traveled in Paris, in the provinces, the people greeted me with enthusiasm and friendship. From noblemen of the court to the coachman who drove me, they paid such honors that my head was in danger of being turned, until I realized that the respects they offered were for the new nation across the sea, struggling for liberty. I remember a peasant who came to me cap in hand.
Excuse me, monsieur. I have wondered a long time. Maybe you can tell me.
Yes?
What is it like there in America?
I'm not sure that I know what you mean.
I will explain it, monsieur. I work on the estate of the Sieur de Polignac. 8 sous a day.
8 sous?
Oh, I am not complaining. A person learns not to be hungry.
It is a bitter lesson.
But there is a corvée working on the roads. Hard work and no pay. Tell me, monsieur, is the corvée hard there in America?
There is no corvée.
No?
And if the man for whom you work does not pay you what you deserve, then you leave and find work elsewhere.
It is permitted?
Why, certainly.
Of course, if you say so. That is what you mean by freedom, n'est-ce pas?
It is not easy to say everything that freedom means. It is not a very good answer.
It is a good answer. Monsieur, do you think there is something for me for a stranger in America?
Listen, my friend. America offers to strangers a good climate, fertile soil, wholesome air,
free government, wise laws, liberty, a good people to live among, and a hearty welcome.
I would like to go to America. I would like to help you fight this war for freedom. It is a glorious war.
You must not say that, my friend. We must fight. And it may be that we are fighting not for ourselves alone, but I think that there never has been nor ever will be any such thing as a good war or a bad peace. When will nations learn to settle their disputes without first cutting one another's throats? It is a question I can ask but not answer. When the war was over and my work in France was finished, I counted up the years and found that I was 79, and that of the last 28, I had spent 25 in Europe. It was time to go home. Now I returned, in my thoughts at least, to the city of my birth, to Boston.
£100, Dr. Franklin?
Yes, to the free schools of Boston, the interest of the money to be used for silver medals to be awarded to the best scholars. Do you have that down?
Yes, sir. I have it.
Now, the next clause in the will deals with... Why, such a long face, young man. After all, I'm the one who...
Please, Dr. Franklin. It distresses me even to hear you joke about it.
You must forgive me. It is an old weakness of mine. Well, I wish to leave several £1 million each to the cities of Philadelphia and Boston. Young man, your mouth is open.
I didn't know that you were so wealthy.
Oh, I don't have the money. That is, not yet. We'll start with £1,000. Write it down. £1,000 to each of the cities.
I don't understand, sir.
It's really simple. When I was a young man, not yet 25, and married, I set up as a printer with money that was lent to me. The £1,000 is to be used for loans, at interest, of course, to young married tradesmen just beginning. The principal and interest are to be accumulated for 100 years.
Why, in that time, the total will amount to...
£131,000, of which 1,000 are to be spent on public works, and the remainder continued as loans for another 100 years.
Then each city will have...
If no unfortunate accidents have occurred, £4,061,000. Young man, you dropped your pen.
I don't know what to say.
You might say that it's a respectable legacy. That is, for a philosopher. But the coin of philosophy is truth, and I would be pleased if in all the words and thoughts that I have lived there were found a small legacy of truth. Yet, if such truth be found, I do not claim it as a discovery, for it has been told us what is good and what the Lord does require of us. Only to do justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with our God. This is our common inheritance, to be understood by pursuit of learning and cherished by furthering the institutions of learning that are at the foundation of all society. Here I am, then, an old man, reflecting, as I said, on the years of my life. If I were given a choice, I would have no objection to repeating the same life, only asking the opportunity that authors have in a second edition to correct some faults of the first. May it be the same, my friends, with you.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Benjamin M. Reeves, member of the Board of Overseers of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Mr. Reeves.
In the interesting script we have just heard presented in celebration of Benjamin Franklin's 250th anniversary, the final incident stands out as a striking illustration of the uniqueness which characterized B. Franklin American. Franklin, we will all agree, was a unique example of a great man. Even in the will he drew up, there stands out the values in which he believed. In this will, Franklin left far more than pounds. He left in one document a type of summary of his attitudes, his teachings, his values, which governed the full life he led. To us, 250 years later, there is a lesson which we can derive from this incident. Benjamin Franklin, in drawing up his will, put his full and complete faith in the generations of the future. He gave them hope. Are we today doing as much? I believe that at times it would be wise if we ask ourselves what we, as individuals, are doing with our lives that can be of value, not now, but for future generations. Are we giving to the future any faith? Are we instilling anywhere in the world any hope? Or are we so involved in our own everyday living that we are ignoring the broader picture of the years to come, the children yet unborn? If we cannot answer the question satisfactorily, it would be well that we re-examine ourselves to make certain that we are living our lives to the fullest possible capacity. In other words, every man and woman, you and I, have the opportunity to write a spiritual will each day of our lives, in our services to our fellow man, and in devotion to God. Not only do we add meaning and direction to our own lives, but we communicate purpose to the lives of men, women, and children of generations to come. The story of Benjamin Franklin, great American, should inspire us to devote more and more of our energies, our time and our talent, to the good of the society of today and tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Reeves.
Our Eternal Light program today came to you transcribed through the facilities of station WBZ in Boston, Massachusetts. The script, B. Franklin, American, was written by Joseph Mindell and starred Ralph Bellamy as Benjamin Franklin. The music was written by Morris Momorsky and played by Mike DiNapoli. Cantor Robert H. Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were William Siren, Conrad Jameson, William B. Reeves, Richard Kilbride, and Streeter Stewart. This has been an NBC Radio Network production directed by Henry Lundquist.
This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Our program today, The Guardian Angel of Genessee County, was written by Mark Siegel.
I don't like to gossip about another angel. But that Gabriel, really there's a limit. Threatening to clip my wings and demote me to angel junior grade just for a thing like this. Well, all I can say is...
Dr. Gale?
Yes, Gabriel?
Silence. I'm considering your case.
There, you see. An angel can't even think anymore. Not even to himself. Next thing you know, there won't be any freedom of thought in heaven. It's undemocratic, that's what it is. It's...
Dr. Gale, for the last time, stop that earthly grumbling.
Yes, sir. As I was saying, it was just a little thing, really. And now there's all this hubbub and commotion up here just because...
Dr. Gale.
Yes, sir.
Can't you stop complaining?
Well, frankly, no, I can't.
Well, that's truthful at any rate. I think you'd better fly over here. I'm in the northeast quadrant. It's time for you to stand up and take your punishment like an angel.
The working conditions up here are really getting intolerable. Choir practice 3 times a day, wing inspection every 20 years, throne duty every century, and then you make the slightest mistake and Gabriel has you on the carpet. I'd like to tell you what I think about Gabriel. I really would, but I can't. I'm sorry. Angel's present.
Well, what's your explanation this time?
Well, it's like this, Gabe.
Don't call me Gabe.
I'm sorry, Gabriel. It's just that every few centuries or so, I get restless. You know, idle hands. I mean, it was only a minor miracle.
Zagzagale, I don't know what to do with you. You're full of the... you're incorrigible. I'm afraid you'll have to stand a departmental trial.
A, departmental trial?
There's nothing else left to do. But first we'll have to decide what to do with him.
With him? Who?
Oh, please, Zagzagale, don't act so innocent. With that rabbi. Don't you think I know he's in the southwest quadrant on a cloud?
Gabriel knows all about it, of course. But he just has to have his little game. He knows perfectly well that I was assigned as guardian to this rabbi 45 years ago. He ought to. He assigned me to the job. It was quite a demotion, too, an assignment in Genessee County. Who ever heard of Genessee County? I could tell you the name of the rabbi and the community, but I'm not going to. There's absolutely no privacy in heaven. The least I can do as a self-respecting guardian angel is to see to it that there's a little privacy on earth.
All right, Zagzagale. Now let's review the facts.
But you know them all already.
Please, there are procedures. You take it on yourself to bring a live rabbi to heaven. No authorization, no coordination with the Department of Heavenly Records. No precedence for the case. Now, what's your defense?
There are mitigating circumstances.
Name them.
Oh, do I have to go into all that, Gabriel? I mean, really?
Zagzagale, this is a pre-trial examination. Now, don't test my infinite patience. Recite the facts.
I'm not going to burden you with all the facts I gave Gabriel. It's enough to say that I told him that being guardian angel to the rabbi was a very boring assignment right from the beginning. I watched him grow up. I watched him become a good student. I watched him lead his class at a theological school. Oh, I admit I had a flicker of pride the day he was ordained. But then he went and took that pulpit in the dreary little town in Genessee County. Really, the assignment was a bore. There wasn't a thing for me to do. That's about what I told Gabriel, but he wasn't satisfied, not Gabriel.
And you call that a mitigating circumstance? That you found your assignment boring?
Well, it's just that there was nothing to do, Gabriel, nothing at all. So I began to devote my attention to details, little details. I just wanted to be helpful.
What little details, Zagzagale?
Well, that matter of the congregation's talking.
Talking?
Talking. Every time the rabbi got up to deliver a sermon, someone in the congregation would be talking. It got so I couldn't stand it. Every Saturday morning for 20 years I've watched. And just as the rabbi gets into the pulpit, during that little pause between the service and the sermon, some man leans toward his neighbor and says, "Want to play golf tomorrow, Joe?" Or one of the women whispers,
"I've been thinking about it, Sylvia. Not a theater party this year, a strawberry festival."
And the rabbi, what does he do when this happens?
Nothing, Gabe. Absolutely nothing. He just stands there and waits for them to quiet down. I tell you, Gabriel, that rabbi, he's an absolute angel.
Oh, very good, Zagzagale, but now we're up to this morning and your indiscretion.
You're prejudging me.
Nothing of the sort. What happened this morning?
Ah, yes, this morning. Well, it's a beautiful spring day down there in Genessee County this morning, Gabriel. If you take your nose out of that record book, you could see it. You see plants pushing up through the soil, birds singing, sap rising.
Please, Zagzagale, I'm familiar with the awakening of nature. What happened inside the synagogue?
Well, just about half an hour ago, I was watching as usual. The rabbi walked to the pulpit when it came time to deliver his sermon. Now, he's particularly proud of this sermon. Worked on it since last Tuesday night, in fact.
And?
When he stood up, there was the most infernal gabble going on.
My friends, my sermon today
It was the worst infraction in 20 years. It must have been the weather or something. They just wouldn't stop talking.
My dear friends, I would like to begin my sermon.
Nothing would stop their talking. Really, it annoyed me terribly. You know how I hate people who talk too much.
I hadn't noticed.
No, it doesn't matter. Finally, the rabbi tried a third time.
My friends, I must ask you to allow me to proceed with the sermon.
But they went right on. Really, it was just too much for an angel to bear. Even the rabbi, after 20 years of suffering in silence, seemed just a little annoyed.
Did he tell the congregation that?
No. But a thought crossed his mind. Of course, I knew what it was. Angels can hear even the littlest thoughts, you know.
I'm familiar with the phenomenon. What was the thought?
Well, the rabbi listened to the buzz of the congregation for another moment. And then he thought,
I wish to heaven I had a quieter congregation.
That's reasonable.
Of course it's reasonable. And the second he thought it, I said to myself, at last, Zazagal, something to do. So I reached down, and faster than you can say Genessee County, I brought him up here for reassignment.
Well, I must say you've got yourself into a fine mess, Zazagal. A very fine mess indeed.
Well, look, Gabe, I'm sure we can find him another congregation. Someplace interesting, maybe? San Francisco or Paris, maybe?
Silence!
Yes, sir.
I am not concerned about the rabbi. We can straighten out his situation. It's you I'm considering.
Me?
You forget that this is a pre-trial examination.
I'd like to, but you don't let me.
Nonetheless, it is. And your defense is weak, to say the least. Boredom is no excuse for an angel. Angels are not bored, Zazagal.
They're not?
They're not. The only possible defense you have when you come to judgment
is the goodness of the rabbi?
Precisely.
Gabriel, for your own good, I advise you to drop the entire proceeding.
What's that? What's that you're saying?
If my case rests on the goodness of the rabbi, I've won it. Really, Gabe, as a friend of yours, I'd advise you to drop the whole matter like a hot potato. Now, you know, you may have seniority.
I'll worry about myself, Zazagal. Just now, we'll concern ourselves with... I'm ready to take your testimony. And please...
Please what?
Please, no ethereal poetry, just the facts, the plain, unvarnished facts.
Well, now, point one.
Yes?
Point one, the rabbi's congregation needs him.
The congregation needs him. And that's your defense for bringing him here for reassignment? Oh, that's completely illogical.
Now, Gabe, 1 point at a time. I'm trying to show that the rabbi is so good that any angel might have made the same mistake. The fact that the congregation needs him is a material argument.
Completely illogical, Dr. Gale. But for the sake of peace, I'll go along with you. Now, what's the proof?
Lots of proof. May I use your special events receiver?
Oh, if necessary.
I'll just tune back to the minute I snatched him. That is, the minute I brought him up here. There it is. Now listen.
The rabbi. What's happened to the rabbi?
He's disappeared. He's completely disappeared.
Now, just a minute, everybody, please. As the president of the congregation, I ask for order. Now, did anyone see the rabbi leave?
Leave? He didn't leave. He evaporated.
Now, just 1 minute, please.
Well, I know.
Let me have a look at the pulpit. There's not the sign of him here, except his shoes. His shoes? The rabbi's shoes are there? Right where he was standing.
Well, what are we to do?
No, there's nothing to do except go on with the service.
Well, Mr. President, don't you think we should call the police?
Maybe. After the services. I don't think the police are very effective in cases of evaporation of rabbis. Maybe the services themselves are more effective. I think we should pray for the return of the rabbi.
All right, then let's pray.
Before we start, there's something I want to say.
What's that?
I notice one of the rabbi's shoes has a hole in it. When he gets back, maybe we should consider a raise in his salary. Not very convincing, Zazagal. Not convincing at all.
Well, that's just the way they are in Genessee County, Gabriel. Pretty cool-headed folks, that's what they are. But they sure need the rabbi.
They seem to be able to go right ahead with their services.
Doesn't that prove they need the rabbi? He's taught them that they can pray without him, but they're praying to have him back, aren't they?
They sing very nicely in Genessee County.
Better than some folks I know up here, in fact.
Oh, please, Gabriel, no personal remarks.
No, but I don't think singing is admissible evidence. Now, if you look here at the code book...
Never mind. I take your word for it. You want further proof that they need the rabbi?
Anything you have to offer will be considered. That's as far as I can go.
Do you mind if I borrow your thought receiver?
Not at all. All facilities are available for your defense.
All right, then. Listen. Ah, there. We're tuned in to Mrs. Zinman.
At a time like this, he has to leave. Just when Marilyn finds a nice boy with the caterers ordered and everything. All the invitations out, too. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. If the rabbi doesn't come back, who's going to marry my Marilyn?
Hey, Gabriel, here's the president.
2 bar mitzvahs scheduled for next week, 3 the week after. That rabbi is so undependable.
And here's the president of the sisterhood, a very practical woman.
Now, let's see. Who can we get to take the rabbi's place at our next Bible study class?
You see, they really need the rabbi.
Zagzagel. Every congregation needs a rabbi to perform marriages and officiate at bar mitzvahs and conduct Bible classes. Oh, you're in bad shape, my boy. Very bad shape.
I didn't say I was through, did I?
You never do.
You know, this rabbi has interested several young men in Genessee County in studying for the rabbinate.
Interesting, but not too material.
He's built them a beautiful synagogue. You care to have a look?
Prayer isn't a matter of steel and stone, Zagzagel.
He's very active in community organizations.
So are many men.
And in the pulpit. Such wisdom. Such eloquence.
I've warned you already. No poetry, please. Give me another fact.
A fact? All right, a fact. He's an understanding man. He understands children. Now, you take that time he had a boy who was a problem in the Hebrew school. The teacher didn't know what to do with him.
Rabbi, he's impossible.
No child is impossible, Miss Lerner. A child is a child.
You don't have him in class.
Yeah, that's true. But I expect to see him more often from now on. I've made him an offer.
You're appeasing?
I've offered him a job.
What kind of a job?
As my special assistant. I think it'll give him a sense of importance.
Fine, Rabbi, fine. What's he supposed to do?
You know those back issues of study guides I have in my bookcase?
Of course I know them. There are hundreds of them.
I've asked him to file them for me. In order.
But, Rabbi, I spent hours filing those guides. They're in perfect order.
Don't you think I know that, Miss Lerner? Now, hurry, get in there and mix them up.
Very nice, Zagzagel. I must admit, very nice, but a little on the light side. Oh, you'll need something more substantial for your defense.
Well, now, perhaps that day he talked to the president of the congregation is what you're after. It was a meeting of the men's study group. The rabbi had just finished his lecture on the sayings of the fathers, and there was quite a good attendance.
Rabbi, I want to congratulate you. That's one of the finest classes I ever attended.
I agree with the president, Rabbi. It was one of the best.
And one of the most unsuccessful.
Gentlemen, listen to this. After a brilliant lecture like that, the rabbi says he's unsuccessful. You see, it's what I've been telling you. He's not only learned, he's modest, too.
Rabbi, I don't understand. What do you mean unsuccessful? You have to ask the president. He's the only one who can answer your question.
I can answer it, Rabbi? How?
You own a large business, don't you?
What's that got to do with what we're talking about, Rabbi?
I hear your employees want you to help them set up a pension fund.
Rabbi, we're talking about our study group. I'd be glad if you'd keep my business out of it.
I told you it was a very unsuccessful lecture.
Now, look here, Rabbi. What are you getting at?
All right, here. I'll show you. In the portion of the sayings of the fathers we've been studying, Simeon, the son of Rabban Gamaliel, said, "Not learning, but doing is the chief thing."
Did he also say I have to give my employees a pension fund?
No, he didn't say that. That is, not if you don't care if my lecture was unsuccessful.
And the employees got their pension funds, Zagzagel?
They got it, Gabriel.
Oh. I shall make a note. Courage. But that's still not quite what I'm after.
The young couple he persuaded not to get divorced?
Noted. To try again.
His appeal to the mayor for better schools.
All very good, but not good enough. Now, look. I'm trying to do the best I can for you. Haven't you got something more dramatic? Something to capture the imagination of the court?
As a matter of fact, Gabe, I do. And when you hear this one, old fellow, if you're any kind of an archangel at all, you should promote me to the ranks of the senior seraphim. When the rabbi first came to Genessee County 20 years ago, things were pretty bad. The county was in the grips of the Depression. You know, the sort of thing we used to call a famine. Well, he'd hardly got settled in the little house the congregation had provided for him when one day a man came to his door. The man's clothes were shabby, but his face looked more threadbare than his overcoat.
Are you the new rabbi?
Yes, I'm the rabbi. Come in, won't you?
I won't take long.
Oh, that's all right. Please, here. Sit down. I'm afraid I don't know you. What's your name?
The name doesn't matter.
It doesn't? What can I do for you?
Rabbi, I've come to make my peace with God.
Your peace with God?
Oh, you're in trouble. Real trouble.
A crime? Have you committed some kind of crime?
No. No, I haven't, Rabbi.
Oh, you can talk to me in confidence. I can advise you. I don't have to reveal anything, not even on the witness stand. You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know it, Rabbi. But I haven't committed any crime. I haven't done anything dishonest.
Well, then I don't understand. What do you mean you want to make your peace with God?
Rabbi,
Oh, don't be afraid. Go ahead. Tell me.
Rabbi, I'm planning to take my life.
The rabbi looked at the man that he'd never seen before. And the man looked at the rabbi he had never seen before, and for a moment there was a silence between them.
My friend, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Rabbi, why do you think I came here?
But you can't make peace with God for committing suicide.
Why not? Won't he understand?
Well, he understands everything, but to destroy a life, even your own, that's a violation of the very fundamentals of Jewish law.
I can't help it. There's no other way.
But maybe you'd better tell me why.
I'm beaten, Rabbi. Beaten and broke, that's why.
What do you mean, beaten and broke?
I have no job. I have nothing to eat. I have no home.
There are others in the same terrible condition.
You don't understand, Rabbi. You haven't been here long enough. I had a big business here in this town until it failed.
That's no reason to take your life.
I've gone on as long as I can. I can't stand it anymore. I sleep on a mattress on the floor in a friend's house. I and my wife on the floor.
You and your wife?
I can't stand it. I can't stand seeing her suffer anymore.
You can't stand seeing her suffer. You're married and you can't stand seeing your wife suffer.
Not another day.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you and I'm sorry for your wife. But I'm sorrier for her. Why don't you love your wife?
Don't love her. I adore her.
How dare you say you love your wife? You hate her. You despise her.
Don't say that, Rabbi. I'll say what's true.
You're willing to expose your wife to further poverty. You're ready to let her bear what you can't take.
That's not so.
Now, I don't want to say this, but I have to. I've never put eyes on you before. But you're a coward. Nothing but a coward.
I should have known better than to come here.
If you were any kind of a man at all, you couldn't do this thing.
I've told you the story. What do you expect me to do?
What did you say?
I said, what do you expect me to do? What can I do?
Good. That's what I wanted you to say. If you're ready to do something, everything will be all right.
It worked out all right, too. The rabbi saved that man's life. And as I keep telling Gabriel, although he doesn't seem to be listening, if he who saves one life is as one who has saved the whole universe, why should his guardian angel be punished for bringing him to heaven for reassignment?
Because it's not done that way, Ezekiel. It's just not done that way.
He wished for a quieter congregation, didn't he? I still think he deserves
Perhaps
one.
he does and perhaps he doesn't. Why didn't you quiet the congregation then?
Gabriel, you know better than that. I'm the rabbi's guardian angel, not the congregation's.
True. Yes, that's true.
Well, that's my defense.
Noted.
But there's just one other point I'd like to make.
I'm listening.
In that whole noisy congregation, in that whole gabbling group...
Yes?
The one who talks the most, the one who's always asking his neighbor about a golf date...
Yes, I'm aware of that.
...is the man whose life the rabbi saved. Gabriel looks thoughtful. That last point, I'm pretty sure I scored with that one. I tell you, when an angel's right, he's right.
Rabbi.
Hadn't you better use the voice of authority? You know, the one you use with me?
Not with the rabbis, Abigail. Rabbi, do you hear me?
I hear you, Gabriel.
Oh, Rabbi, as you've probably gathered, there's been a slight mix-up here.
Oh, I don't mind, Gabriel. It's been a very enjoyable trip. Very unusual.
Yes. Your guardian angel, Zagzagel, is in some small difficulty over his heir. But that needn't affect you.
Well, if there's anything I can do for Zagzagel...
Oh, you've done a great deal already. Now, there may be some merit in his notion of
reassigning you. Where would you like to go? Well, if you don't mind, Gabriel. Anything you see. Genessee County. But that's where you come from. And it is rather a noisy congregation. Noisy or not noisy, foolish or brilliant, bad or good, Gabriel. It's my congregation. Genessee County, please, Gabriel.
I begin to understand Zagzagel's mistake, Rabbi.
Thank you, Gabriel.
We would appreciate your discretion in keeping this whole matter private, Rabbi.
What? Oh, you have my word, Gabriel.
Oh, that's more than enough for me, Rabbi. Well, ready?
Quite ready, Gabriel.
Goodbye, then. And, oh, yes,
what, Gabriel?
Keep up the good work in Genessee County. And I'm sure you'll have a good trip back. Ready?
Quite ready, Gabriel.
Goodbye, then. And, oh, yes.
What, Gabriel?
Keep up the good work in Genessee County. I couldn't do better myself.
I can see that Gabriel agrees with me that I have a pretty strong defense. But he is a stickler for the rules and regulations. All that I can try for now is a postponement of the trial. I'd like to get this thing put off for, 120 years. You see, that rabbi from Genessee County, he's a very effective witness, and by then, he's sure to be back.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting General Melvin Krulowitz of the United States Marine Corps Reserve. General Krulowitz.
You all know that rabbis have their troubles and tribulations, and I'm sure it's true of all gentlemen of the cloth. From our script today, we can see that it sometimes is true even for angels. On this occasion, a time of year when we're all mindful of the celebration of Memorial Day, as a Marine, this is a fitting time to be reminded of the influence that spiritual leaders have had upon my life. I was brought up under the benign influence of the Jewish Theological Seminary and celebrated my bar mitzvah in that great American ecclesiastical institution. When I read the Bible portion on that fateful day of my confirmation, I had to run the gauntlet of the greatest minds in Judaism, all sitting in the pulpit and each one giving me the sergeant major look. There was Solomon Schechter, its president, who was called to the seminary from Cambridge University to become the great American leader of conservative Judaism, Louis Ginsburg, the world's greatest scholar in Talmud, Alexander Marx, under whose inspired leadership the library of the seminary grew to be the world-renowned repository of Semitic literatures, and their distinguished colleagues, all scholars of the highest standing. I was no angel, but to read my stint before them almost made me feel qualified. Now, after participation in 4 wars, I must say that the warming influence of the seminary's rabbis and chaplains in our military service has been a source of comfort to me and to thousands of servicemen of all religions throughout long years of service. I spent some time in the Hawaiian Islands and visited Lahaina, where the mountains meet the sea. There's a school located in that village, which was established over 100 years ago by the visiting missionaries. That little country school, nestling in the mountains, has a most significant motto, which in English may be translated as, "The strongest winds from the mountains cannot extinguish the torch of our learning." So it can be said of the great centers of religious, cultural, and spiritual values in our glorious land. No ill wind of adversity from any quarter can ever extinguish their effectiveness in giving real purpose and inner security to our lives.
Thank you, General Krulowitz. Our Eternal Light drama today, The Guardian of Genessee County, was written by Mark Siegel. Cantor David Putterman sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Mandel Kramer, Mercer McLeod, Betty Kane, David Gothard, Wally Bester, Roger DeKoven, Norman Rose. This is Mel Brent. The Eternal Light is directed by Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, Another June 3rd, was written by Marion Voigt and is presented as a tribute to the work of the New York Herald Tribune Fresh Air Fund.
Today is June the 3rd, 1956. Many things have changed in New York City and everywhere since another June 3rd. The June 3rd, 1877, to which we return. But one thing is not too different from now. The slums, clustered then in the Lower East Side and along the Bowery. June 3rd, 1877. The crowded, reeking, clamorous Bowery is baking in an early heat wave. But the pushcart peddlers are out in full force, as always.
Pots and kettles, get here. Keep us on the Bowery.
And the drunks.
The Bowery. They say such things and they do such things.
And the children.
Hey, look out there, Sonny. You want a good kick, huh?
Go on. Joey. Here you are. And Lottie. You got ice. A great big piece. Where'd you get it? It's all off an ice wagon in front of Mother's beer garden. You should have been there, Joey. I had to fight Mikey and Tony for it. Didn't you hear me holler? Nope. Didn't hear a thing. Well, come on. Let's break the ice and all have a piece. There you are. One for you, one for Joey, one for me. Oh, don't it feel nice and cool on your tongue? Feels good just holding it. You know what it reminds me of? The country. The country? What country? Yeah, the country. It reminds me of the country, too. You two talk like you've been to the country sometime. You've never been no closer to the country than I have. I remember what that minister used to tell us about it. You know, that red-headed minister used to be at the mission house. That's right. Have you forgot the stories he told us, Jakey? All about how there's grass and flowers everywhere in the country in the summer. No, I ain't forgot. I remember. Trees, too. Like at St. Mark's Square. But everywhere. He was a nice man, that minister. He gave me a plant once. All for my own. But it died in the winter. He gave Ma a book. It had pictures in it of the country. Cows, too. A lot of good pictures are. Come on, let's do something. That minister. He's off in the country now himself. Yeah. Probably cool as anything in the country. Must be kind of like heaven. Trees and grass and flowers everywhere.
Pots, pans, kettles, get in here. Cheapest on the Bowery.
Oh, come on, Joey. Stop thinking about it. Let's go look for a fire or something. Stop thinking about the heat and everything.
June 3rd, 1877. The young minister of whom the children spoke was off in the country, a long way off as distances went in those days. It was an all-day trip to Sherman, Pennsylvania. Population 50. It's warm even in Sherman this June 3rd, but Mrs. Babcock is bustling about her big kitchen as efficiently as ever, getting breakfast for the young minister who boards with her.
Land sakes, everybody'd think it was August.
Good morning, Mrs. Babcock.
Oh, Reverend Parsons, good morning to you. Did you ever see such a day for June?
It is rather warm, isn't it? We think it is anyway, because we're not used to it. But anybody from the city would think this was wonderful. Especially down in the Bowery. I've been thinking of what it must be like there today. All the dirt, the crowding. That's bad enough any time.
Oh, horrible, that's all. Well, New York and all its worst could be banished off the face of the earth, and the earth would be a better place.
Well, yes, the Bowery should be banished, but you sound as though the people should be, too.
Drinking, thieving, killing, night and day. Why, they're worse than Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Lord didn't have too much patience with them.
Now, Mrs. Babcock, there are plenty of people, even in the Bowery, whose only crime is poverty.
I'll wager there aren't many. New York's a wicked place, and it takes wicked people to make it like that.
Well, oh, dear,
oh, my goodness.
Dear.
Reverend Parsons, what's the matter? I never meant to say anything to make you feel bad.
No, it's all right, Mrs. Babcock. It's just, well, I had what seemed like a wonderful idea when I woke up this morning, and I'm beginning to wonder if I wasn't taking too much for granted.
Yesterday, the Reverend Parsons had found a letter waiting for him. Troubled and disturbed by it, he had made his way, as he often did, to the home of a quiet, gentle man, with whom he had formed many ties of sympathy and understanding.
Good Sabbath, Rabbi Harber.
Oh, Reverend Parsons, good to see you. Come, join me on the porch. You look warm, my friend.
Oh, this heat seems like nothing after reading this letter from New York.
Ah? You've had bad news from the city?
Yes.
There are more difficulties in the way of your great desire, huh?
My great desire?
Why, the foreign missions assignment you hoped for.
Oh, yes, I have a call to travel. No, this letter is from a friend of mine who's still working the Bowery Mission where I worked when I was a student.
Oh, yes?
It seems they're having a heat wave in New York, too.
Ah, yes. I see why you look unhappy. It's hard to sit here in comfort and know that all the while there are so many in such misery.
My friend wrote about some of the children I'd known there. Joey Verdoni, a little Italian lad whom I can't think of anyway, but on the move. He was always as full of energy and high spirits as a monkey. Now
what, my friend?
Well, now, McAuliffe writes that Joey was sick last winter, pneumonia. And small wonder, considering the cellar room where the whole Verdoni family lives. Joey pulled through, but he's just a pack of skin and bones now, and does nothing but sit on the curb all day long.
He'll be a long time getting well again in the heat and stench of the Bowery.
If only he could have just a little of the fresh air and sunshine that we take for granted.
Yes.
If only I had a house of my own instead of just boarding as I do. I'd bring him out here till he got well. And I wouldn't stop with Joey. I'd bring Lottie, too, and Jakey, and... Wait a minute.
Yes?
Rabbi Harber, all of a sudden it just came to me. Now, Sherman is full of generous, hospitable folks. Suppose I asked them if they wouldn't open their homes to some of the children for a couple of weeks.
My friend, what a wonderful idea.
You like it, Rabbi Harber? You think they might agree, some of them, anyway?
Why not, my friend? They're generous, hospitable folk, as you say.
Yes?
But, wait, we forget. How do the children get here?
I'll go get them and take them back.
And their fares. Your salary is not large. Wait. Let me contribute to their fares.
You'd be willing to?
Yes.
All right, and thank you, Rabbi. And then, if by some happy chance I can find invitations for more than one or two children, I have friends in the city who'd contribute too, I know.
There you see. Oh, it is a great idea you've had today, my friend. An idea to be proud of.
Well, you sound so very pleased, Rabbi, as though it would help such a lot if one or two Bowery children get out into the country for a few weeks. But it's not really anything at all when you think of the thousands there.
My friend, may I quote you some words of the Talmud? He who sustains a single life, it is as though he sustained the whole world. Each of those children is a whole world, my friend, reflecting the God who made him. Help but one of them. It's not too little.
Thank you, Rabbi. You're right, of course. If I can just get Joey out here and fill him full of fresh air and sunshine, give him a view of what life can be like so he can go back armed with a vision,
it would be enough, my friend.
All right. And this is what I preach about tomorrow. Joey and the other Bowery children are the subject of my sermon.
But that had been yesterday. Now, June 3rd, 1877, the young minister sat in the Babcock kitchen, face to face with the old country distrust of cities, city folks, and city ways. He saw himself standing in the pulpit of the little Sherman church in an hour or so, eagerly expounding his idea, and then finding only blank hostility on all the faces of his congregation. Slowly, he finished his breakfast.
Well, you didn't eat too much, Reverend. Thinking about your sermon?
Oh, yes. Yes, I guess you'd say so. Mrs. Babcock, your feeling about city people, it doesn't extend to the children, too, does it? You know, children are children anywhere.
Oh, they learn the ways of wickedness mighty young in the city, though.
Well, yes, I know. The stories you read about the city make a lot out of all that. But I knew children in the Bowery who had been exposed to all sorts of evil influences without it touching them.
Reverend Parsons, what is all this about New York and the Bowery this morning? You haven't talked about anything else since you came down to breakfast.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Babcock. I was sort of testing out an idea, and now I guess it's just as well I did. Well, thank you for a good breakfast. I guess I'd better get ready for church myself.
Reverend. Another hot day.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Jones. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Deacon Early and I went in and opened all the windows in the church. Thought we'd let in what air we could.
Oh, fine. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Reverend Paul.
What? Rabbi Haber.
I do not keep you a moment. I was on my way to visit Mrs. Rosenstein, and I saw you here.
Oh.
You're all ready with a sermon that will launch your great idea?
Well, Rabbi, all of a sudden I'm not sure anymore.
Not sure?
Well, not because I'm afraid it wouldn't help enough children, Rabbi. What you said about that was true, I know.
But what then, my friend? I have no right to question you. This is your sermon, your flock. I will drive
No, wait a minute. I'd like to try to tell you, if I get up in the pulpit and make a suggestion such as we talked about, perhaps I'm imposing on my authority as a minister. People who are dead set against it may feel that they have to ask a child out here just because I ask it. And doing it in that spirit...
What makes you think they'd be set against it?
Not a soul in this congregation has ever traveled to New York. Rabbi, it's a symbol of vice and wickedness to them.
Yes, of course. And it is so close to home, too.
What do you mean by that?
It is so easy to feel pity for sinners far from home. So easy to love a stranger.
Yes.
But so much harder to love those who are hardly strangers at all.
Good morning, Reverend Parsons. Good
morning.
Rabbi Haber, isn't it? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Strange.
I do declare today'd be a fine day for one of your foreign mission sermons.
Well,
Talk
I'm
about
not
lands
sure.
of the burning sun today, and they wouldn't seem so far away as they sometimes do.
Oh, I guess not.
Though I must say, you have a gift for making those faraway places seem not so far away after all.
Well, thank
I
you.
often tell Mr. Reynolds we're lucky to have a minister who does do that. We live awful shut in out here in the hills. Need to hear about the world outside.
Yes.
Well, I best be getting in. Good day, Rabbi Haber.
Good day, ma'am. We live awful shut in out here. No. I talk too much. I must be going along.
No, wait. I make faraway places seem not so far away. Places like Africa and China. But I hesitate to talk to them about New York and the children here. Rabbi, maybe I'm the one who's found it easier to love a stranger. I'm going to give the sermon I planned.
church bell rang, and the rabbi smiled as he drove away. Inside the little church, the young minister stood in the pulpit to begin his sermon.
Today, on this warm summer morning, I'd like to tell you about some children I know. Children who are seeing a very different summer than we are. To tell you about their summer, I have to take you to a very unpleasant street. New York's Bowery.
Bowery. Hey, look out there, Sonny. Stay on my way,
I'd like to tell you about Joey Verdoni now. Joey's manners may leave something to be desired, but Joey's courage and high spirits, no, never.
Cry? 'Cause that big bully knocked me down? Not Joey Verdoni, Reverend. Besides, look. I fell into that cart there. And look what I found. A banana. A whole fine banana.
But, Joey, it's all squashed.
I don't complain when I find a banana. Look, here's a place not brown at all. You want to bite there, Reverend?
And then there's Lottie. Lottie, who loves flowers.
Look, Reverend, it fell off a funeral car, and I got it. Is it a rose? A real rose?
And Jake. Jake, who has never seen a cow in his life.
That's a picture of a cow? I never knew they were so big. Do they bite?
And so, I'm asking if you can find it in your heart to open your homes to some of these children and have them as your guests for a week or so. Even a week of fresh air and sunshine will be a priceless gift. A gift of health and a vision of a better world than any they've known. And I ask you to give this gift to them if you can.
Reverend Parsons, when I think how I was talking only this morning, could you fix it so I could have that poor young Joey stay with me?
It's that poor child Lottie who broke my heart. Me, with the yard full of flowers, nobody even notices. Could I have Lottie, Reverend Parsons?
That youngster you call Jake, Reverend. I've got some cows you can get acquainted with. Some of their milk might do him good, too.
Reverend, we want Kevin.
Could we have Mary stay with us, Reverend?
Well, it sounds as though you want all of them.
Well, of course we do. I'd take them all myself if I had the room.
Not Lottie. I want Lottie. When can you go get her? And all the rest of them, Reverend.
When? Well, I'll go tomorrow.
Oh, good.
And leaving time for arrangements in the city, I'll be back with all 9 of them by Wednesday. You're sure now, all of you?
Sure? Of course we are.
Bless you for showing us how much we have that we can share.
The next day, June the 4th, 1877, the Reverend Parsons left for New York. And on Wednesday, he was back with 9 incredulous, breathless children who were met by 9 expectant families. Now came the real test. How would these children of another world fit in with the quiet country life of Sherman? The days passed.
Did you see the way Joey ate this morning, Reverend Parsons? And the color he has in his face.
Yes, he's a changed boy since he got out here, Mrs. Babcock. Where is he now? Out with Jemmy?
Oh, they're out berrying together. Jemmy never in his life thought berrying was a lark until he saw how wonderful it was to Joey. My land, that youngster's doing my Jemmy a world of good.
And vice versa, Miss Babcock.
Well, all I can say is this was the best idea you ever had, Reverend. Oh, has Mrs. Polk spoken to you yet?
As a matter of fact, she has. She wonders if there aren't some more children in the Bowery who could use a summer vacation.
Oh, she wants some of the satisfaction of seeing a youngster just bloom and come to life. There are more, aren't there?
More? There are thousands.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, I know anyways 5 people who'd like it fine if you could bring back children for them when you take these back. Though, lands, I dread saying goodbye to Joey.
I've heard from 10 who want me to bring children to stay with him. Oh. I've written to more of my friends in the city to see if I can't collect fares for that many more.
Oh, you know something, Reverend. I've an idea you could spend the whole summer doing nothing but going back and forth from the city, fetching children out here.
Well, there are only 50 people in all of Sherman, Mrs. Babcock. If I bring back 10 or more, that's 19 you will have entertained. A pretty high average for a town of 50, I'd say. Sustain one life, the rabbi said, and you sustain a world. Who'd have dreamed we could sustain 19?
The young minister still had no idea of what he had begun on June 3rd, 1877. As it turned out, he did spend that summer going back and forth between Sherman and the city, till the tiny town in the hills had been host to 60 Bowery children. And this was still only the beginning. By the next summer, the word had spread, and families all over the countryside wanted to do their share of entertaining.
So, how does the fundraising go, my friend?
Fine, Rabbi, fine. I was frightened when I realized I'd already asked all my friends for money, but they spread the word to others, and now all sorts of people are contributing for railroad fare for the children this summer.
It's taking a good bit of your time just the same, isn't it?
Well,
what is the latest word on your application for a foreign missions post?
Actually, I haven't had time to check with the board for a month or so. This thing has become a full-time job for a while.
Watch out, it does not become a life work.
Oh, no danger. I'll be off to Africa one of these days, or China.
I'm not so sure, my friend. I'm beginning to think your own heart answers our old argument about the need of traveling to far places to do good. Your own heart knows the first law of all. Love thy neighbor.
1881. The Fresh Air Fund established offices in New York City, and hundreds of children were sent to the country for fresh air vacations. The next year, more went, and the next year, more. And the Fresh Air Fund was the Reverend Willard Parsons' life work till the day he died in 1907. Since then, sponsored by the New York Herald Tribune and hundreds of devoted men and women, it has continued to grow. Till now, in 1956, more than 800,000 children had known the joys of summer through the Fresh Air Fund. Today, June the 3rd, 1956, many things are different from what they were on June 3rd, 1877. But the misery of New York's slums remains, and the need of its children to escape them, to find sustenance in the fresh air of the country. This year, 100,000 and more of them will, thanks to what happened June 3rd, 1877.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Daniel G. Albert, Chairman of the Metropolitan New York Cabinet of the National Planning Committee and member of the Board of Overseers of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Mr. Albert.
As I listened to this story of the task performed by the Reverend Parsons, I could not help but think of all the Boweries that exist in this world and of all the little Joeys and the Lotties and the Jakes who lived in them and who were in need of aid. This story merely depicts the lack of understanding that exists today amongst people and nations alike. The lack of understanding undoubtedly due to a lack of knowledge amongst us. Knowledge and understanding are necessary partners. Given knowledge, we acquire understanding. And with the acquisition of understanding, we open the gates of our minds and our hearts to cope with and find solutions to urgent and pressing problems. Mrs. Babcock, the country mother, although good at heart, classified the Bowery and all of New York City and its people as drunks, thieves, and killers, worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. So also must have been the feelings of the other good citizens of the country village of Sherman. But when Reverend Parsons educated these people to the problems of the underprivileged, whose only crime was poverty, knowledge led to understanding, and they soon opened their hearts and their homes to little Joey, Lottie, and Jake. John Donne, an English clergyman and poet, once wrote, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." The prime movers of the Power Age have woven mankind far closer together than ever was the case when John Donne wrote his immortal lines 3 centuries ago. Now the atomic bomb and the promise or threat of atomic energy have made all of us our brother's keepers in a very special and terrible sense. Hitler, loose on the planet, could devastate half a continent. The next madman in control of a considerable nation could blow up the world. Mankind is now confronted with a common enemy, the ignorance and confusion in men's hearts. Hence the lack of understanding between men and nations alike and their common problems, and as long as there is no understanding, there can be no solution. Whether it be the segregation problem in the South, the Israeli-Arab dispute in the Middle East, or the many vexing problems between the Soviet and the Western world, there can be no solution until there is mutual understanding. And unless enough of us can realize that the bell tolls for all of us, some other race of animals will have to take over if there is any living environment to take. Reverend Parsons points the way to the solution. Surely this minister must have had in mind the golden rule of human conduct when he preached the sermon that enlightened the minds and opened the hearts of his congregation to his little friends from the Bowery. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And this command, found in chapter 19 of Leviticus, applies to classes and nations as well as individuals. And if only applied by them, it could lead to the solution of many of the seemingly imponderable problems of the day. Thus it was that the sermon preached by the Reverend Parsons in a small Pennsylvania community on June 3, 1877, led the way to the noteworthy task being performed yearly by the Herald Tribune Fresh Air Fund, with the help of thousands of Americans whose knowledge and understanding of the problems of underprivileged children have opened their hearts and their pocketbooks to this worthy cause.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Our Eternal Light drama today, Another June 3rd, was written by Marion Voigt. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Jack Manning, Alice Yorman, and Guy Rett. Your narrator was Bert Cullen. This is Mel Brandt. This weekly program is directed by Daniel Sutter and presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation, and it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Our drama today, A Garden Eastward, was written by Joseph Mindell.
On a summer evening, when the sky was not yet dark, he would take her hand and they would climb the hill, they and their 2 sons. There they sat in the sun's last rays that cut the twilight like flaming swords, and he would talk of that other place.
The fruit was on the trees all the year round. Do you remember?
I keep thinking how soft the earth was. No matter how far you walked, you never tired.
Listen, my sons. This is a thing to hear and remember. There were no stones to bruise the feet, no thorns to scratch. It was never cold, even at night. And the wind was...
Oh, I'm sorry, Father. Don't stop, Father. Tell us how it used to be. The wind, you said. Tell us how it was always gentle and filled with the smell of flowers and incense and made a sound like flowing water and the singing of the birds in the...
One son falls asleep.
Don't be angry with me.
Did I say I was angry?
It's just that it's getting late.
Only for you, not for your brother.
He? Why should he be tired?
I get up in the morning no later than you.
Yes, and then you take the sheep to graze and lie on your back and count the clouds. While I plant and dig in the earth and break my back to make things grow in this rock.
What do you know
Stop
of my...
both of you. Do you hear? Stop quarreling and listen to your father.
Let them be.
Tell them how it used to be, so they will know and remember.
Let them be. Your one son falls asleep, and the other knows what I will say before I say it.
You told us before, Father.
Then listen again.
Why, Mother? Why must we hear about a place we never saw and can never hope to see? I'm going to sleep. Let him listen. He can sleep in the afternoon tomorrow.
What do you know about it? Have you ever searched the fields and the woods all night long for a lost lamb? Have you walked for a week with a flock to find good pasture? What do you know about how tired I am?
I know that I didn't choose to be made a tiller of the soil.
Did I have a choice? But I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not like you, stooped and coarse and dirty.
Yes, you think you're better, don't you, with all your fine ways and your...
still. Be still, my sons, and listen. You, Cain, and you, Abel. There were no stones and no thorns in this place you never saw. And there was no anger.
Adam returned from dreams of paradise, and they walked down the hill, their feet bruised by stones and scratched by thorns. His son slept, but Adam could not sleep, and Eve saw that he was troubled, and she was also awake.
You're still thinking of those days.
They were days to be remembered, Eve. The fragrance of the air, the speech of the birds, how the angels came to visit us. How you looked on that first day.
I will not forget, Adam.
But when I try to tell our son...
Must they also know?
Do you know what it's like when I try to tell them? Sometimes you would wander off by yourself there in the garden. And when you returned, you would tell me of the new birds you had seen, of the fruit of strange trees.
Once I saw... It's over now. I'm gone.
You would tell me, and I could comprehend so little. Pale shadows of your memory. Eve, I will not talk again to Cain and Abel of those days.
You will do what you think is right.
Are they to remember my memories? No, I will not talk of them again. Now, we'll sleep.
Adam, will you sleep sitting up?
And yet, Eve, maybe there is something more than my memories. Maybe there is something that must be told and remembered.
I don't know, Adam. But it may also be that our sons must find their own Eden.
Get them out of here! Abel, get your sheep out of my barley field.
What I'm doing, can't you see?
I'll kill them. They're trampling the grain. I'll kill them.
What's the matter with you, Cain? Did I lead them here on purpose?
I don't care why you did it. Get them out. Go. I warn you, Abel.
I warn you, Abel.
No, Cain. Cain, my son, do not speak such words.
You want me to sing for joy? You saw what happened.
I'm afraid of such words. Once spoken, they have a power of their own.
Have no fear. Words cannot harm your son, Abel.
I have 2 sons. Here. I brought you cheese for your midday meal.
I'll eat barley bread.
Take the cheese and give me bread to bring to Abel.
You always have a plan.
I don't know what you mean.
Don't you? We will each of us eat the fruit of the other's labor, and we will be brothers, Abel and I. Is that it?
You are brothers.
Enough! Here's bread for Abel, and bring him the cheese as well. I won't eat it.
You're still angry, Cain. What happened with the sheep was an accident.
How do you know? And what difference does it make?
It was an accident. Why should you be angry at Abel?
Then I'm not angry at Abel. Enough, I say.
Or at me for bringing you food.
I'm not angry at you.
Yet there is anger in your eyes and in your voice.
You must have reasons, mustn't you? Here, let my hands be a reason. Look at them. Clods of earth calloused and crusted with dirt. Let my back be another reason. Touch it. Touch it, I say. Feel how bent it is, how twisted from digging in the ground. I'm angry. Yes, I am angry. And I have reason to be. For I am bound to the earth. And all the earth is cursed.
Look upon me, O Lord. Look upon Adam, whom you created. Here am I on your earth, filled with loneliness and confusion. O Lord, let me hear your words again and the sound of your voice.
Father? You're alone, Father.
Yes, Abel, I am alone.
I heard a voice and I thought...
For a time I was alone there, too, in that other place. But the angels used to come and walk beside me and talk of... Oh, such things I cannot describe.
Sometimes I think I've heard an angel. But it's always a bird or a creature of the forest.
And once, only once, Abel, I heard God's own voice.
God's voice? What is the sound of it, Father?
Like the sound of... Like... I do not know how to tell you.
If he should speak to me, how will I know?
You will know, Abel. I hope that you will know when God speaks to you.
What are you doing, Abel?
Building.
I can see that. What are you building?
An altar?
I could build a bigger altar, twice as big.
Then build it, Cain. By all means, build an altar.
When you've finished it, what will you do?
Why do you want to know?
Tell me or not, but don't examine me.
I'll tell you. When the altar is built, I'll bring roast meat, fat roast meat, and offer it to God. And then...
Go on. Then what?
Then maybe God will speak to me.
And me? What about me? Abel, will you give me meat to roast?
If you want it, Cain.
Of course I want it. Why shouldn't I also make an offering to God?
With my meat?
What have I to offer? Dry wheat bread. Cakes of barley and oats.
You planted the seed and ground the flour and baked the bread.
Yes, these hands labored and made something out of bare earth. God will understand.
Still, if you want the meat.
No, it's no good to me. I have my own offering. All the same, I see it now. I see the trick.
What are you talking about?
You're clever, Abel. You persuaded me, thinking to yourself, surely God will know how to choose.
Do what you like, Cain. I don't want to quarrel with you.
For surely you thought roast meat is superior to dry bread, as Abel is superior to Cain.
Have I said that? Those are your thoughts, not mine.
No. I'm not clever enough to have such thoughts.
Why do you set us against each other? We're brothers.
I'm not clever. I'm Cain, who grovels in the earth, coarse and filthy. You're the clever one, brother. But Abel, my brother, I'm strong.
you going, Adam?
Only to the top of the hill.
Oh, it's dark. You can see nothing.
A corner of the sky is always lit, even on the darkest night. Did you know that, Eve?
Eden is where it always was. I don't have to look.
I like to sit up there and think about many things.
No, Adam, no more. It was all so long ago. We sorrowed for so long, and then we stopped grieving and could remember without pain. Adam, why are you beginning again?
Maybe because everything is not finished yet.
It is. There's no use wishing for something you can't have.
Is that what you think, Eve? That I'm still longing for the Garden of Eden?
You're not? Adam.
It was good there, wasn't it? The ease, the quiet, the peace, and the beauty. You were beautiful then, Eve.
Then?
You were a child, and I was a child. And it was a child's beauty with a kind of emptiness.
Was it, Adam? And now?
Now, there are lines in your face. Your hands are rough and scratched.
Oh.
But don't hide your face, Eve.
It's old and ugly.
No. You were a child. Now, you're a woman. You're my wife, and we have 2 sons. And together, with rough, scratched hands, we've built a home in the wilderness and made the hard earth give nourishment. We did it together, Eve. And it is a beautiful thing. Why should I want to go back to Eden?
And why should I, if you are here? But you keep looking westward, as if Eden was still in your thoughts.
We have 2 sons. Eve, it isn't enough what I've done. It isn't enough to teach them how to snare wild animals, to plant seeds and care for sheep.
How else could they live on the earth?
They would learn that without me. They've already learned more of this earth than I can teach. But they were never in Eden. And if I don't tell them what Eden meant, they will never know.
Then you will tell them.
When I try, I don't know what to say. When I speak, I say the wrong things, and they still don't know. And all the time, Eden grows more distant. Maybe... Yes, maybe if... Abel, Cain, come, both of you.
What is it, Father?
Where is Abel?
How should I know? Why do you ask me where my brother is?
Whom should I ask? But never mind. Find him, Cain, and tell him to make ready, and prepare yourself as well.
What do you want us to do, Adam?
Hurry. Get ready, Eve. We're starting on a journey.
Adam journeyed back to the place where once he lived, and Eve walked with him hand in hand, and their sons followed. When they stopped in the evening to rest, Adam did not rest, went off a little way and was alone.
The memory of Eden grows dim. Be gentle with me, O Lord. Let me hear again the sound of your voice.
Adam listened, but there was no sound in all the night time of the earth.
I cannot remember. Let me therefore bring my sons near to the garden, where I learned that which they must know in order to live. Be with me, O Lord, that I may know how to tell them.
In the morning, they journeyed again, and on the second night, half the sky was lit. And the sons of Adam were afraid. They stood to the east of the Garden of Eden and hid their eyes from the flaming sword that turned every way.
How can he bear to look at it, Cain? And what does he see? Nothing, you fool. How can he see anything in that fire except what is in his mind?
Come closer, my son. Cain, Abel.
Maybe if we went to where he's standing.
I'll stay here. It's close enough for me.
Do not tremble so, Abel.
Let us go back, Father. Let's go home.
No, not yet. Cain, lift up your head. You don't have to be afraid.
I'm not afraid. The flames blind me.
Open your eyes and look through the flame.
Why? Why should I look?
Why? Eden lies beyond them.
Even if it does, and even if I should see it, what then? There is still a wall of fire between me and Eden. I'm going home.
No, wait.
While I wait,
The weeds will grow up in the fields and choke the stalks of grain, and the work of weeks will be for nothing. I'm going home.
On this spot, God spoke once long ago. Here, where you were standing, my son.
Are you coming with me, Abel?
Wait a little while, Cain.
No. God has already spoken. He will not speak again.
Only a little while.
But Adam, our father, will tell us again how it was in Eden in the old days. About the soft earth and the gentle wind, about the fruit waiting to be picked, and the angels who guided his steps. Ask him why he tells us these things.
Be still, Cain.
Ask him, Abel. He won't tell you, but I will. He needs our eyes to freshen his memory of Eden.
Stop it, you'll make him angry.
I'm the one who's angry.
Cain, my son, whatever I know of Eden is not mine alone. I want it for you as well, if I can find the words.
I don't want to hear any more. All of Eden will not straighten my crooked back or take the pain from my bones. I won't be taunted with stories of paradise, knowing I must return to the earth.
The earth is your home. Where would you want to go?
To Eden! Will you take me there?
I have brought you as near as any man can go to this spot.
I know where once God spoke. And I also know what he said. You have told me, thorns and thistles shall the earth bring forth to thee. And in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. I know the words. And I know that he also said, the earth is cursed.
No.
Yes. You told me long ago, but if no one had told me, I would still know it by every day that I have lived. The earth is cursed.
That is not the whole meaning.
It's enough meaning for me.
Cain, I understand now what I must tell you. Listen.
No,
Cain.
you listen. You offer me a glimpse of paradise, but I will not have it because I cannot enter. And I know why I cannot. I know on whose account.
You've said enough, Cain.
Eden is denied to me because of what you did.
I will not let you say such things.
A slap is so little extra pain, Mother.
I had to stop you, my son.
You cannot stop me from saying what I know. If the earth is cursed, it is because of the wrong that you also committed.
Cain!
I'll go after him, Mother.
No, Abel.
I'll talk some sense into him and bring him back.
Stay here, Abel. Abel, don't go!
They don't understand, Eve.
I have 2 sons, and they are strangers.
They don't know what Eden is, nor what they are, or why.
Adam, I'm afraid.
I must talk to them. Hurry, Eve. I must find them and talk to them before it's too late. Or is it already too late? Where is Abel?
How should I know?
Cain, where is your brother?
Maybe in the pasture with his flock.
I looked. He's not there.
Then maybe he's on a hillside asleep. How should I know? Am I my brother's keeper? Why do you look at me?
You're hiding your hands.
They're stained and ugly. Am I always to account for Abel, what he does and where he is?
Show me your hands, Cain.
They are cursed. As the earth is cursed.
Don't go, Cain.
My hands have work to do in the barley field.
The work can wait. I will not let you run away again.
You will not let me. Eden is closed to me, and the earth will not have me. Where will I run? And how will I hide what cannot be hidden? Oh, where shall I hide? I'm afraid, Father.
Now, Cain. Now you are afraid.
Wherever I go, I will be hunted.
Yes. You will be a fugitive and a wanderer.
Whoever finds me will kill me.
God does not want your life. There is a sign set upon you, a mark by which men will know you and what you have done.
By which they will know me and kill me.
No, God will not allow it.
Now I have God's protection. May I speak, Father?
A strange thing for you to ask. Your meekness comes too late.
What I have done is done. Maybe it is also too late to talk of how it might have been if you... If you had not left Eden, if I had also lived in Eden with Abel, my brother, on the fruitful earth under the fragrant sky.
What are you trying to say, Cain?
The deed is mine, but of the blame there may be enough for more than one. You're not angry?
I am your father. I blamed myself long before you thought of giving your share. I'm not angry.
Then you do not know what I mean. One deed is mine, but the other was yours, and I was punished for it. I was banished from Eden and condemned to the bitter earth and to the deadly end for your sin in Eden. You do not deny it?
What should I deny? That I ate of the tree of knowledge, and God said, "Behold, the man has become as one of us to know good and evil."
You were driven from paradise, and I was punished.
Cain, my son, what a waste. What a waste.
Don't pity me. Only acknowledge your responsibility.
You never understood, you and Abel. And I did not see how deep was the well of envy and bitterness. For that I blame myself. Cain, how were you punished?
Do I have to tell you who knew both worlds? No tender fruit dropped in my mouth. I dug in the earth, with hands the color of earth, and the earth yielded me thorns and thistles.
Listen, Cain, and understand.
It's too late for understanding.
Still, you listen. In Eden, I was like a child. But then I knew good and evil. And the knowledge was also yours. If I had known the words to tell you. Are you listening, my son?
It is too late, but I am listening.
We are no longer children, but men in God's image and free. Do you understand, Cain? Free to choose good or to choose evil, to live or to die, free to create something out of dust and rock and thorns.
Eden was sweet, and the punishment was hard.
What can man create in paradise? We were banished from Eden. But Cain, my son, God sent us out and gave us the whole earth in which to live as men.
Cain went out and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Adam and Eve were alone again, until a son was born to them. And his name was Seth. He was a child, and then he was a man, living on the earth and dreaming of Eden. And Adam, his father, searched for words to explain the meaning of both, so that Seth would know for his life and for the time of his children. And so it began all over again.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Samuel Brockstein, Chairman of the Nassau-Suffolk Cabinet of the National Planning Committee and member of the Board of Overseers of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Mr. Brockstein.
In the eternal problem of handing down a way of life to children, we must realize that there is no ready-made Eden. One has to implant the seed, nurture and watch over it, so that the result will be a rich and fruitful life. In order to make life more meaningful, it is not sufficient to tell your children or bring them to the door of Eden. You must enter and live with them. It isn't enough to find the words, even if one is articulate. Deeds, as an example, are by far the true teacher. The good life must not be allowed to become a memory. Man must constantly live with God, else his memory grows dim, and he loses the ability to implant his faith in the generations to come. Man was born free and equal. He was given the ability to choose between good and evil. In order to remain free, he must utilize his God-given energy and strength, not on envy and greed, but to create out of dust and rock and thorns a place for himself and his brother. For I am my brother's keeper. The Midrash, which is the great ethical commentary on the Bible, tells us that Eve, after long deliberation, chose to give Adam the fruit of the tree of knowledge at the expense of eternal life. This June, as many Junes in the past, has witnessed the imparting of degrees to thousands who have tasted of the tree of knowledge and have enriched their lives culturally and scientifically. These man-made Edens are the result of great effort on the part of sons and daughters combined with the sacrifice and devotion of the parents. Seeing these trees, devoted to the ethical enhancement of mankind, give forth their fruits of knowledge and life, brought to mind the passage in Genesis, and God saw that it was good.
Thank you, Mr. Brockstein. Our Eternal Light drama today, A Garden Eastward, was written by Joseph Mindell. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Carl Weber, Ann Seymour, Bill Lifton, and William Redfield. The narrator was Norman Rose. This is Mel Brandt. This weekly program is directed by Daniel Sutter and presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.